Hey everyone, welcome to the Rivals Weekly Show. As always, I'm Jarek. Down there is MSB, and at the bottom we got our guest today, Akashi, another one of the many APSAs that have been going around. I swear there was a boom of APSAs like a year and a half or so, where there was just suddenly like six APSAs that were just like, hey, I'm good now, I guess.
I guess.
I guess.
I believe
So I guess I have to start that way. I don't understand your placings, Akashi. I don't at all. Because, like, at locals, you don't seem to do much of anything. In friendlies, you don't seem to do much of anything. And then you go out of region and suddenly place, like, top 8 and beat top players. And I don't get
it. Starting out strong.
Yeah, no, that was my curse for the longest time. I think ever since Taps 1, where I think I got 17th there. I had a really close set against MSB. It was 2-0, but it was close, though. One of those kind of sets. And then I lost a close 2-1 to Snail Beats. And then from there, like, I just had this sort of groove where I was, like, comfortably, like, ninth, or, like, just outside of top 8 at any tri-state event. But, like, when I went out of region, I was like, oh, man, I put a lot of money into this trip. I gotta work at least a little bit. I don't know. I'm an enigma. That's all I can say. I don't know.
So the secret to make you do good at taps is to make the venue fee just be really, really high.
Yeah, the more money I put into the event, the more I like, shit, I really can't lose now. I'm gonna be out like $80. Are you kidding me? That's too much.
that explains friendlies a lot.
Dude, come on. You know I'm gonna try and do some like dumb shit in friendlies. Or at least a little bit. I remember Bagel at Frostbite said like there's just so much shit that he thinks he shouldn't be getting away with when we play friendlies together.
I mean, that's just my friendlies in general, but even more so with you.
Okay. I got nothing. You got me.
You're one of the classic
examples. I was gonna say
examples.
something, but like, yeah, exactly. I was gonna say the Jarek was like the classic example.
Well, yeah, you're one of the classic examples where I play you in friendlies. It's like I win majority of the games, don't think much of it, and then you get top 8, and I'm like, why do people confuse me this way? It's almost like I play a janky, stupid way that's not part of the meta or something like that.
I think if Akashi came to Portland, you'd seed yourself over him.
I mean, how do you see people from out of region that show up to your monthlies? That's actually a good question.
That hasn't really happened. I guess Taps counts. But I just seed it like I guess any other tournament. Because at every East Coast tournament, there's 17 tri-state players to seed.
Yeah. There are some people that, like, for the bigger events like Taps, we'll have people from MDVA come out. Like, Latham came out to Taps 1, I believe.
Yes. Taps 1 was the big one for out-of-state.
Yeah. We had flown in some people for Taps 3, I think. I'm not sure about Taps 2. I think
Taps 2 is just ZB. And Taps got.
Oh yeah, and Taps got 2, yeah. I was like, wait, yeah, he was at Taps 2, that's right. I was trying to remember if he was there, because I feel like he was more like around at Taps 3 than he was at Taps 2. But my memory is just...
Oh yeah. And Hoppy showed up at a weekly and we seeded him like 3rd and he got 3rd.
Why did Hoppy show up randomly? Like, what? Why was he there?
That was Hoppy's only tournament. We used it to seed him for Genesis, I think.
yeah.
It was his only tournament the whole year.
Yeah, he was just in the tri-state area for a week, and he's like, "Do you guys do locals?" We're like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Cool, sick. I'll come by if it's on a weekday." I'm like, oh, awesome. That was actually also the same week that Adi came out too.
It was both of them.
It was really.
I got a stream too. I think I might have uploaded all of them too.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Good to go.
Mm.
That's actually like a weird question for you, MSB. Like, so I don't consider our monthlies to mean much of anything because in Portland, most of our guys just kind of goof around. Like Ty chooses random characters. I think the only person that actually tryhards is Soroas because he's Soroas. Of course, he does. So it's like it doesn't really mean anything as far as our seeding is concerned. Like we kind of know who is better than who, even if they like say Ty got 4th because he went Raster 1 month or something dumb like that. You know?
Yep.
Which is also extra frustrating when people out of region see that and they're like, wow, what happened to Ty? It's like, Do you not see what I put him as a
I
raster on the
watched.
PR? I don't know. I guess my point there is locals and monthlies don't look too much into those, please. They don't mean much.
I mean, I use locals to seed 4 locals. Like, if Ty's going raster for whole PR season, he gets 4th at the first one, he'll probably get the 4th seed at the next one. Just because if he's still going raster up. If he's like, I'm going to take this one seriously, then maybe he'll get seeded higher. It's flexible with monthlies. If it's at like a major or regional, then have to respect the seeding process a bit more and not ask him what character he's going.
Yeah, that's what I do for monthlies and weeklies because they don't mean anything, but I still have to gauge them off what you did the last PR, which
Yeah.
can make a PR incredibly difficult to make to begin with. Especially this last PR was incredibly difficult because it got cut short due to the pandemic thing. So we only really had 2 monthlies. We were going to have 4 different events, but 2 of them got canceled, and one of them was a regional. So I had to make a PR off of 2 monthlies. And like, how? How do you even do that?
Yeah, that's
Just the results of one of the monthlies is the PR. Congratulations.
Almost. The only thing that was easy is that Soros won both of them. So, and Ty didn't show up to one of them, but that was actually difficult. Ty only showed up to one. I think he got 3rd at that one. He didn't go to the next one. Mufi did the same. I think he got like 4th at one of them and didn't show up to the next one. But like 3rd, 4th is kind of a jump. No, it was 5th that Mufi got. 3rd to 5th is kind of a big jump. So like, I don't know where to put these people. Keep in mind, we only had like 12 people show up to both these monthlies.
That reminds me a good bit of like the Tri-State weeklies where we'll have, or even the monthlies where we'll have pretty much an interchangeable like 2 to 4 to 5 at that point. Like we always know MSP is obviously going to be like the first seed, but like 2 to 4 really just winds up being like whoever's doing better like the week before, because like Dan's will sometimes be the 2nd seed.
Yeah, everyone's so close together. It's impossible to like be like this player is objectively superior based on months of data. It's like no, they're the same, and this guy did better last week, so I guess he gets to be seated higher.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's pretty much how most locals are. Is like 1 through 5 generally is just sort of whoever ends up winning. And usually the first, like the best player is just the best player. Like to take our example for Melee, we have Fat Goku here, and no one else is close to his skill level. Which kind of you got to feel bad if you're him because like now you really don't have much to compete with or to improve on. Like who can you win? Yeah, it just doesn't mean a whole lot. You take money though, so like whatever, I'll take the money, I guess.
Man, that reminds me of the Marth player scandal where someone claimed to be a PR ranked Squirtle and Project M up there and said he was only worse than Fat Goku and Eggum.
Oh my god.
All right then. Yeah, I don't know.
It's really funny.
Yeah, it's pretty difficult to rank any of that here because like we don't even have just like AZ is number 1 because that's not the case anymore. That hasn't been the case for like a year. You know, our number 1 could be Tai, AZ, or Soroas usually, and Culex if Culex decides to live again. And a 1-point Symphonica who is dead, so that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I saw
him on the very first PR, like the very first PR band.
He was. That was before Ty even existed, and I harassed Ty a lot by telling him that I think Symphonica at his height is better than you.
That's how you got him to compete? You just like
no, he actually agrees with that. He thinks his playstyle isn't conducive to like the top play because he doesn't necessarily go for optimal stuff. He just wants to hit you. That's all he wants to do. So
yeah, I feel that. I feel the big need to like just hold forward and hit people.
I know you do. It's like the amount of times I've hit you with Fireball, you just keep holding forward.
Listen, man. You got me. I could CC it, I could parry it, but like that's dumb. That's work though.
Crouch canceling it is kind of a bad idea. Just FYI.
Yeah, no. Crouch canceling it still sets you on fire and everything, so it's like
and you're holding down for if anything that comes after.
Love it when I crouch cancel a move and it reduces my knockback so I get comboed more easily.
Yeah. Right. Or they're going to immediately Gatling you after and you're holding down, so you're going to die.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think that was the first thing I tried to teach you, because I've known you for a while. I think I met you through Avesivs, actually. I think I met you before you even played Rivals.
You met me when I first started playing Rivals. Like when I learned that like you had a server where like people played rivals, and I was like, oh, cool, more people that I could like compete against. That's awesome. And I figured like maybe a new practice partner, because I was like just kind of roaming about on the wilds of ranked and casual. And oh boy, I learned a lot.
The first thing I tried to teach you is just
Oh,
how to deal with Fireball, because if you're Absa, I think dealing with Fireball is probably the most important thing you can learn,
Mhm.
because that just entirely dictates neutral. You can't jump anymore. You can't go to platforms anymore. It's like, I'm going to keep doing chip damage at you. So you really have to play a very specific way. I think that matchup was weird, because that's the one matchup that actually forces Absa into the sort of glass cannon she was supposed to originally be. And now she just kills you and recovers for free anyway. So
Ah,
Yeah.
yes.
Still kind of for free, less free, but still free. It's like it went from being free to like 10 cents.
Mhm.
Because like you still have the stupidly good distance, you still have the ledge cancels and everything, so you can still mix. Just gotta be smart about it. That's all.
Got that Black Friday discount.
Exactly. No longer are we the original price.
by the way, hello everyone in chat. We are looking over to the
Hello.
chat every once in a while. If you do have questions for
Right.
Akashi or MSP or whatever, feel free to throw them in. Or if you just want to insult them, whatever, that's cool too.
I have a question.
Oh yeah.
What is an Akashi? What does it mean?
What does it mean?
Yeah.
That is a good question. It basically equates to when I first became a furry, people were like asking me what my character's name was, and I couldn't think of something on the spot because I didn't want to use my real name for obvious reasons. And my gamer tag had absolutely nothing to do with furries. So I was like, and then I just vomited out that word. It just stuck. And then that's just been it ever since.
So it
I just
started
kinda-
with a yell and it ended with a yell, and that ended up being your name.
Basically, yeah. That's basically how it happens. A lot of things I just kind of stumble into sometimes. And it's just like, all right, I'll take it. That's fine. I can make it work.
Every time I need to name something I don't have a name for, my default is Steve. But now that's what I call SBS. So my default name for everything has become Steven Stefanski.
How did they mess up his name? I don't
Yeah,
understand.
Stepan Stobonsky.
Yeah.
Like, they
Lowercase
literally
e,
had his
capital
name.
Sports Manager.
I love it.
I love how the moment Ty saw that, he renamed himself to that in PDX Rivals Discord.
SBS renamed himself
Oh
that
my
in AZ Rivals.
Yeah. God.
Good video though.
How
It
did
was
so?
a
How did
great
that?
video.
For those of you that don't know, they did sort of a documentary type thing for Rivals over on fuck, I'm forgetting the name of the channel.
AshCon.
Yeah, Ashcon Esports. So it's
Yeah,
pretty good video. How did that come to be? I assume they just contacted you randomly.
I think it was Octagon that actually contacted me first because he knew and was like, "Hey, would you be interested in saying some words for this?" So I was like, "Sure." And then some point, the guy who did the doc got in touch with me, asked me a bunch of questions. I gave him a bunch of answers, and he used the good ones. Thankfully, not the bad ones because I rambled a lot in the video.
It's probably the hardest part about making videos is keeping everything you want to say short.
I was just going. So yeah, you can actually see when the interview was because Will be tweeted it up, being able to hear it.
Why was he able to hear it? Wait, what?
Yeah, there was some stuff that I said in the interview that didn't get into the video, which makes sense because it ended up veering off topic.
Yeah, just totally not
So
relevant. There's a
yeah,
lot of
he
stuff you
picked
want to talk
a really
about.
good amount of stuff to put,
Mhm.
especially me running onto stage after Genesis.
Yeah.
I love how I had the moment I put that in the video and pointed an arrow to that. Everyone knows now.
Yeah, I don't know how I didn't get banned from the venue. I've been to that
No one
exact same
stopped
place
you.
again. Yeah, no, they did. There were security. There was just whenever I accidentally walked over the line because I was still like way up there. They were like, "Please step back." I was like, "Okay," but once he actually won, like they were just on the side, so I just ran through the middle, and I'm pretty fast, you know.
Mm.
Pretty bony. I might slip out of their grip, but like I just got up there. I had like a whole plan to jump up there because it was like 2 elevations up. I jumped onto like the pre-platform, then onto the stage, then I punched Wilby. And I was allowed back next year.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah,
gonna say,
I still thought it was the funniest that no one even seemed to even look at you or care.
Yeah, no, it wasn't like is that the same year that kid did the fucking dab on the stage and he got like immediately punted by security? Or was that the year after that?
I think it was the year after.
Oh, okay.
I was
yeah.
like, I had no moral high ground on that situation.
Hey, no.
Like, I can confirm from personal experience that this is very possible and also very bad. You shouldn't do it.
You are the only person that manages to be in a top 10 pop-offs video, popping off for someone that wasn't you.
Yep. Oh, Octagon says that has nothing to do with that. So I had no idea where that guy came from then.
Oh.
Some dude just asked me questions.
Gave him honest answers.
It's interesting. Who all was in there? It was you, Cake, Penguin, and a few points.
I think Penguin had like 2 lines each. It was like George had a couple. I forget if Dan and Trevor had like any interviews, but SBS was the bulk of it, and then I was the second most, I'd say, besides obviously the narrator.
Yeah, I would say like it would be SBS, then you, then George, because George was talking a good bit about like community and all that.
Yeah, and then Cake and Penguin were on at the very end being like, "Yeah, we're good at video games."
Yeah, the Switch.
Who would have thought?
Soon. And we're still gonna be good by then.
Yeah. The secret to eternal youth is just being very young. It's how you stay good by the time the Switch version comes out. Your bones don't become old.
Unless you main Maple.
That's true.
For those unaware, if you main Maple, the older you get, the worse you get at the game.
That's why Duo started out really good. And Tandoori.
Tandoori.
So what I'm saying is that Hoppy is about to become really bad.
Yeah, Maple players generally peak at around age 14. I think Latham is just playing Ori, but he's picking Maple, so it's not hitting him as hard.
He's picking Maple so that people think that he's really cool, because no one thinks Ori is really cool.
Maybe Latham is secretly very young.
Just eternally like fucking 18.
Fake ID.
Yeah.
I don't understand Latham. When he's playing games, it's just kind of like you get thrown all over the stage, and you may not die, but you just kind of like stop for a moment. You're like, "What the fuck? Where? Like, what happened?"
He has a habit of like throwing himself into combos that'll do like 80%, but at the same time also kill him. But it looks sick, so you're just like, "Whoa!" And then he dies, and you don't. You're like, It was sick though.
I think the main thing I think of when I think about Latham is I just think of his one line during the Blue Bullets grudge match where Latham said Bullets sucked, and someone asked him, was like, "Didn't you lose the Bullets?" He was like, "Yeah, but I also outplaced him."
Ooh, got him.
That's how you can tell whether someone's good or not.
The true test of champions.
Bullets actually threw that set away against Sparks. Like, looking back at it.
That's the Bullets, though.
Yeah, he SD'd one time and then missed the parry punish by getting parried and dying immediately after.
Oh, man. It reminds me of the Evos that they had with full stream.
Yeah.
So bad watching that.
That was so sad. I didn't want to watch Rivals anymore.
Yeah, no, I walked away for seconds. I was like, oh, no.
I don't get Bullets. Dude, Bullets could be like a top 5 player if you could just stop being Bullets.
Sometimes the mag is full, and sometimes it's just empty, and it's just you never know which one it is.
I don't know. As long as Bullets continues to exist, just so we can see him killing D-Brick and seeing D-Brick getting angry, that's fine.
Yeah, good purpose.
I don't know what it is about D-Brick, but for some reason he screws D-Brick over harder than anyone else.
Analyst just strikes fear into some people, man.
Well, that and they played a lot. Like, I think...
that'll help too.
I think Bullets has played D-Brick and Blue more than anyone else. Blue especially,
yeah,
who knows why. I don't get those two, man.
Schmeat.
I've said it before, but playing against Blue and Blue and Bullets in doubles was infuriating. Because they'd combo each other more than they'd combo you, and you'd still lose.
That's how it feels fighting Cake and Penguin. They'll just kill each other for like no discernible reason. You're
Yeah,
just
but
like,
that time's like 10. It's like worse.
okay, that's oh no.
It's like the very first thing they did is Blue or Bullets turns around and F tilts Blue parries it, and then they just run at you. And you'd say, well, that just seems like a good tactic, but no, they were just trying to hit each other.
I remember when I teamed with Windows at Frostbite, I was edge guarding during the set with George and SBS, and Leonard just runs across the stage and up B sweet spots me on purpose.
God.
We were winning by a lot. But I was like, oh no, I could have DI'd that and everything. I just didn't think it was going to happen. I flew off that stage.
Yeah, no, when you're not ready to get hit, you just go fucking fly.
Bro, that's my whole game plan. They're just not ready for it. It's fine. Why would you be ready for retardation? I mean, for real. Oh, what can I? Oh, I know what I can do. Let me try to find the video.
Oh.
No, I'm not. I'm not playing any of my videos. I think it was SmashCon. I don't remember. I talked about this last podcast. So there was one highlight video where I edited all of top 8, but top 8 was split between 2 different streamers. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a SmashCon tournament, 2019 probably.
Yeah, it's so I edited this top 8 video, and the first half of it, I sent it to George. It's all done. So that's like double the sets I need to edit. Sent it to George, and he's like, "Oh, so I'm gonna have to cut this to just top 4 because this streamer does their own highlight videos, so we can't use this." I'm like, why did you not tell me this beforehand?
Pertinent information.
Yeah, that made me so sad.
Yeah, that's super important information.
Those part of those highlights also had like Audie's sick combo on Bagel.
Bagel, yeah.
Yeah.
Reminder that Audie is not a top 50 player, by the way.
Yeah.
Here it is. Okay. Let me change that. And now you get to see some footage that was never seen before. So.
My God, it's with me.
I miss doubles.
Yes.
Doubles are unironically more fun than rival singles, in my opinion.
I like them.
Yeah, it's really fun, but it's way more chaotic. It feels like it's like when I would watch like Smash doubles, be it like Melee or like Ultimate, it does kind of feel like there's a little more sense of a neutral thing. In Rivals, sometimes it kind of just feels like everyone's just kind of trying to just hit each other. And I mean, I'm fine with that, personally at least, but like that definitely does add to the chaos of it all.
Why do you think I like it so much? I do so much better when people are just trying to run at me and hit me. If people are actually going to play neutral, I'll do worse.
Oh my god.
It probably helps the setters a lot better in doubles.
Pretty good there, yeah.
Really good in doubles. Yeah, I don't know. I recently come to not recently, but I've come to the conclusion that rival singles and like optimal, super high competitive play can just not be fun a lot of the time.
Bit of a grind.
Yeah.
Doubles just kind of stays fun for me. So I don't know. Doubles is great. I like doubles. Even though I said I'll probably retire from rival singles, I won't retire from doubles. I'm going to keep playing for that.
He'll have a doubles PR, but not a singles one. The first ever doubles-centric reason. You just host a super major where singles is a side event.
So who would actually be the best doubles teams? There's, Cake and Penguin and Blue and Bullets are like the top 2, but then who comes after that? Full and T-Box, maybe? Just historically, all time?
If me and Full Stream team, I think we'd be good, but we only did that once.
You and Dose is also a really good team, too.
That was a fun team.
I'm trying to think.
Oh my god, we had to play Cork and Gecko, and I was kind of worried about them because it was either For's Crag or a Crag Ditto, and I didn't like that, so I just went Rhino, and we both played Rhino, and we 3-0'd them. It was really funny, and they were so mad. That's a top 5 double set I've ever played.
Oh, God bless.
Drain is actually a really good doubles partner. I doubled with Drain at Crests. And fun fact, I've gotten 4th at every single major I've gone to and did doubles. I'm just stuck in 4th place with both Windows and Drain. So,
worse.
I mean, it could be. That's still what I always tell people is that like whether they're a top player or not means fucking nothing in doubles. it really means nothing.
Equalizer.
Yeah, it really only means so much at that point.
I felt like I've always kind of been quote unquote the underdog in doubles, but it's doubles, so it doesn't matter. Like I was considered even the underdog when I was teaming with Windows at Dome Park, which to be fair, Windows at that point kind of didn't do anything in doubles up until then. That was like the tournament where he started swapping to Crag and realizing, oh hey, Crag's really good in doubles.
So Drain definitely still has it in doubles. He beat Cake and Penguin.
I still feel like Drain is like in general, honestly.
Drain is weird. He definitely still has it, but like he's lazy and doesn't want to do anything. Like he doesn't want to put mental effort into sets until he's really pushed. So he coasts a lot of the time.
So it really is the equivalent of like, man, that's work though.
Yeah, basically. Why do you think he mains Absa? He's literally said he mains Absa because he's lazy.
Oh man, the one tournament that I had with Drain was at Hyrule Saga. This was back when the last DLC wave of stages was announced. There were only 2 stage bans. There's also a crew battle tournament, and Tri-State and BC played twice, winners, finals, grand finals, and I played Drain twice after beating Bullets. Like it was the exact same thing. It was me and Bullets to start, then I beat Bullets, then Drain came in. So the first time he took me to Treetop and he beat me there. So I banned that during the second time. And then he took me to Aramata and beat me there. Then we play in bracket. So I banned Treetop and Aramata. And I 3-0. Because all of I learned what his best stages were from the crew
Drain,
battle.
I remember that. Drain unironically carried that crew battle really hard.
Yeah.
Which is weird because that's like BC. That's like Debrick and who else was it at the time? There was like.
It was Bullets. It was 3 people.
Yeah, it was like. You would think that Bullets and Debrick would be a bigger problem than Drain.
Rest in peace, North Carolina.
Oh my god. The poor lads.
I felt so bad watching that. I was hoping like Flitch or Axis would at least take one.
I thought they'd be able to take I thought one
like
of us would come in.
Yeah.
And then at the next crew battle at Elevate, it was character crews, so we had to teach Penguin Crag.
Oh god. I don't think I should have seen that. How did that go?
Well, we had a conference to decide which character would be best. And it was like Zetter or Crag or whatever. And just went with Crag because Crag would be it'd be easier to teach Penguin Crag than to like teach me like Zetter or Apps or whatever kind of thing. And we won that tournament, but we dodged the Eliana team back when Eliana was busted, I'm pretty sure.
Oh yeah. The dark times.
Yeah, I forget what grand finals. I think it was Edalus. I think I went in against No, it was I didn't go into the tournament until grand finals. I was just making them do all the work. And then when I finally had to go in, it was like I had to take 1 stock off of Bagel. And I was just sandbagging. Was Bagel on the Zetter team? I don't remember. I think it was Edalus. I had to take 1 stock, and I was sandbagging that game so hard I almost lost it.
Oh my goodness.
If I lost it, it would have been set 2, but you know.
Yeah.
Then they probably sent me.
Still, it's more work you have to do, and you could have just won.
Yeah, I was like, this is what you guys deserve for not just winning without sending me in. Come on.
What was I gonna say? Oh right, what? I was gonna say something about Drain and doubles. The thing with Drain and doubles okay. Windows logic in doubles is that he's always going to save you. If you get off stage and you're being edge guarded, he will pillar you. He will save you no matter what.
Yeah.
Drain's logic, he doesn't care if you exist. He'll hit you. He'll like when I was playing SBS and Sinnoh at Crest. Anytime SBS was calling out every single Thunderline Drain was putting out, and there was a lot of them, and it was helping me more than it was helping Sinnoh. I'm on your team, and I'm afraid of dying to you. So,
oh man, I think the few times I played doubles recently at like major events was with Starbucks, and I think he just knows that I just Thunderline when I'm off stage, so he always just whenever I'm off the stage and he knows there's a cloud there, he's just jumping. He's just like getting to like the nearest possible platform if he's not being comboed, and I'm just like, douche, Thunderline.
I remember that set. That set was fun when I played SBS and Sinnoh. It ended up being game 5, and I remember being down and needing to make something happen. So I went for a standard like fair dare edge guard against SBS, but we were using one of those shitty Steam Machine builds.
Oh, God bless.
So the fair and the double jump just didn't happen. So I just fast fell dared and it ended up hitting him and killing him. And that
Huge,
ended up
dude.
like letting us win that set because of that.
Heard my phone go off, but I don't know where it is. That's kind of spooky.
Bagel was Edel's team. I feel like Bagel wasn't playing Zetter yet at the time. Or at least not seriously. I still find it funny that Bagel was like, Edelus sucks, I'm going to use Zetter of all characters.
Mhm.
Doesn't seem like a character you'd swap to if you don't like playing
I've
your
played
character.
against both of his characters online like 2 days ago, and his Edelus is like so much disgustingly better. He doesn't really know how to punish his Zetter. He just presses buttons at people and does damage, and then up smashes people when he could be edge guarding them and sending them out low instead. He will hit a dash attack at low percent, and instead of going for the fair dare, he'll fucking Gatling when they're not on fire.
Oh yeah. When it's more like when they're like 15 or so or 20, and he's just like
Mhm.
he's got them in the prime position to push them off stage, maybe shine them, maybe do like at least a back air or two.
It's Gatling time.
It's Gatling.
Yeah, it's like I don't think it's bad to have a secondary Zetter, obviously. I feel like Zetter has always been like the perfect counter pick character. Because Zetter just has a really weird matchup spread, but his matchups that are good are against really good characters. So, like, you want the best matchup against Absa in the game, well then have it's like secondary Zetter. That's competent.
That's confident.
Yeah,
That-
obviously.
that can-
I
that
love
can
that when
take-
people try to pick a character that they know you're bad against, but they don't know how to play the character. Like, you can't just pick the character and expect to win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only force burn I ever lost to him locals cake, like with Craig, even though I think that's one of my worst matchups.
Oh man, Forsberg gives me like so much trouble sometimes. I feel like at this point it's mostly
He's a
just
bad man.
It's the cape. It just feels like it's the cape, man. I don't
Dude,
know.
you can't put Clyde at the ledge. He teleports. He's cheating.
Yeah, I can't just leave it there and just absentmindedly do things like forward smash. No, I gotta think about what's going
I hate it when that happens. Jerain would be appalled.
If you take Cloud away, Drain is terrible at the game. Like, actually.
Jerain would never win a bracket without using the B button.
Why did that happen? I feel like
Apps is a really good character for it. Like I challenged Penguin to a game of no specials where I was Craig and he was Apsa, and he just hit me off stage and I died 3 times at 40. And I didn't kill him until he was at like 150.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like Apsa though.
If you could nerf one thing about Apsa, what would it be?
Shoot. At this point, I'd probably mess with forward air the most. Maybe F tilt. But
Those are the two things I was gonna say. I've always
Those
said
are
that
probably-
fair and back air don't have enough end lag, so it's kind of just safe to keep throwing them out.
I feel like Bear more so at least just is more reactable than forward air, because forward air being frame 9 just makes it so quick that you can just kind of like throw 2 out in a short hop, and that just makes it much more. I feel like that makes it much more impressive because like it's like having melee Marth with like the 2 forward airs and the short hop, and you're thinking
Except
like,
for
oh, I
it
can go in
kills.
Yes, also.
It's that's more of my emotionary pick because like when you get hit by it, it's just annoying because you see them doing it and you're like, I want to punish this, and you just kind of can't. But I would definitely, if I had to nerf one thing, it would be F tilt 1. F tilt 1 is such a problem.
Back tilt.
Why does it hit behind it above still?
Long live back tilt. I don't know. I think it's because in the animation she like flicks her arm forward.
Like I know why, but it doesn't entirely match up with the animation.
I mean,
none of Apsa's moves do.
It's lightning. What do you...
Especially Cloud Pop. Why is it a square?
Is it a square?
It's a big square.
I could never see the hitbox. I had no idea what the
I think the hitboxes are visible now. I forget.
Because like I was always trying to figure out how big Cloud Bomb was and how big Cloud Pop and Cloud like just throwing
Cloud
out the
Kick
cloud was.
especially.
Oh, Cloud Kick I think you could see because like you were kicking it. But like
it's
when
huge.
you just threw out Cloud, I had no idea how big it was. Like, is it like the ends of the little electric sparks that are around the cloud? Like where hitbox? Dan, please tell me.
Hitbox doesn't matter. It's just you're just gonna get hit by it. That's all you need to know. You think you're out of range, and you're still gonna get hit. That's how big it is.
True. Honestly, I think I feel like probably the most busted one is just Cloud Hop down air, because that it covers so much of her, on top of the fact that it's basically just the most powerful spike in the game. I'm pretty sure it's the most powerful spike in the game.
It's up there. I think Eliana Sound Smash is because you can charge it.
Oh yeah, that's true. In terms of like that, then it's probably not the strongest, but like when you get the hitbox to basically cover and protect like over half of your hitbox, and it's like it's just basically a done deal. At that point, you just
Big, large.
Yeah, it's huge. It cover you and pretty much like almost 2 tech options more often than not. At least as long as it's space law. But yeah, if I was trying to think of like for the sake of like the competitive nature of it all, I'd probably make F tilt 1 like smaller, because it hits way high above her, and I think making it smaller and kind of keeping the same length so it becomes more of like a poking tool versus it just kind of hitting above her and also hitting in front of her and kind of hitting behind her. I feel
And
like
also being a DI mix-up, it'll kill you no matter what DI you do.
you got me.
Abs is a good character. I don't know what to say.
Abs is a very good character. Yes,
Character good.
Yes, very good character. But I'd probably nerf F tilt 1. That's probably the only thing you really could nerf at this point, because I feel like a lot of her kits really, really well synced up. I mean, you could argue maybe up tilt, but I don't really know what you could do about it other than making it more committal.
I don't. A lot of people
Having it
complain
more
about up
committal.
tilt. Windows complains about it all the time, but like up tilt
Man, up
never.
tilt's big.
It never really bothered me because it never seems to kill me. Like I always seem to have DI on that fine. Like F tilt 1, that always catches me way more with bad DI.
I've always felt like the only real issue with it is that it like forward air is very like non-committal and spammable. Like you can just kind of keep doing.
Oh, you can do it twice.
Yeah, that's what Windows wants. He wants more end lag to it.
Yeah, like that's really all it is. But like the only other counter argument is that like there's not much. It's not out for long as well, so it's like you could also like it while they're under the platform. You could probably just like avoid and go away from the platform and just not deal with up tilt in general.
Yeah, that's generally. I just don't deal with APSA in general. I just keep APSA away from me.
APSA isn't real. Just close your eyes.
APSA isn't real. It can't hurt you. APSA. F tilt 2 from across the stage.
No, that's just how I feel about Shovel Knight Dare.
Oh god.
Shovel Knight Dare is like that is actually the thing I kind of want nerfed more than anything. And it's honestly it's
play against Shovel Knight.
Well, I don't know if you know who a player named Deku Knight is.
Deku Knight?
Nope.
Yeah, he hasn't done a whole lot because he lives in Idaho. So what can you do? But he's been getting better recently, so I've been playing against him a lot. And it's like Shovel Knight is one of those matchups where even when you're winning, it's just annoying. Like, especially if you're playing Zed or having to deal with Shovel Knight edge cards. That's the hard part because you can't really go below him to recover because now you're too far away to even recover on your own anyway. So you have to get somehow above and through one of the mix-ups he has. You just have to know what he's going to throw out, what hitbox is going to be there for Dare, that only he knows. So,
yeah, Dare is like it's easily the best move in this kit, I think. But
you could argue it being one of the best moves in the game.
Yeah, I think it's the best move.
Yeah.
I feel like when Definitive comes out, we're going to have something really broken left in the game that people didn't notice, and it's just going to be there forever.
I think the big mix-up with it's probably going to be Shovel Knight Dare, if anything, just because it's got three hitboxes overlapping each other a little bit, so it makes it tricky to DI without like accidentally spiking yourself at the same time.
Nah, dude, it's gonna be Crag. They're gonna discover the Crags are gonna discover the broken stuff.
Oh my god!
And win every tournament.
It's been like 4 years, and new Crags are still discovering new tech. It's
yeah, right.
Like they got the Rock Shine buff, and it's like, oh man, it's all over. We got new tech, baby. Coming out the woodwork.
Does Craig have the most tech in the game?
It feels like it sometimes.
Oh, because he's really old. So like, even though characters like maybe Ori are also pretty technical, or Shovel Knight, they just both have a lot of stuff. Craig is just really old and also has stuff. So it's got the most discovered tech probably.
I feel like
Goes-
Rock alone just takes up like 50% of his tech.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Probably more.
Yeah, a lot of Aztec isn't like super practical.
It's just all our tech is useless. Well, you don't need tech. You can just kick them.
Yeah, exactly. But like gravity jumping is super cool, but like you don't really need to do it more often than not. Wall dashing is just a neat little thing that can occur when you do a cloud bomb.
Mm-hmm.
No more arcane low tier propaganda.
Yes, that's what I was gonna
God,
say.
More
Dose is
propaganda.
out here telling
that
people like Orcane is not a low tier character.
No,
he never
he's
has
bad.
been. Arcane's good.
I don't
Orcane's
know.
very solid.
It's like how people say Arcane sucks, and you look, it's like who's there's two Arcanes in the top 10.
Yeah, right.
It's like, wait a minute, how did two Arcanes get into the top 5? What? Hang on a second.
Don't worry about it. He's not good.
No, it's like bottom 3. You
Bottom.
can be top 5 and also be a bottom 3 character. That's how it works.
Don't go off results. Are you trying to say Shovel Knight, Sylvanos, and Liliana are the worst characters?
Yeah. A lot of people are saying so. It was like the worst character for quite some time.
But then he gained the ability to murder, and
Yeah.
Shovel Knight just became Bayonetta. That's it.
Yep.
So when I became Bayonetta, now Sylphs are getting better at doing their tech chasing tomfoolery, so they're getting like 60 some odd % off of every single hit. Which
Bro, the
is,
Sylvanos thing kills me. Because, like, everyone is saying Sylvanos sucks for the longest time and he's not a real character. Meanwhile, important, we're playing AZ all the time. We're like, no!
Yeah.
what is going on here?
He's a good
What
character.
is-
He always has been.
Mhm.
Now he's just better and people are realizing.
I remember watching, I think it was CEO Dreamland this year. It was, I think, Backpack and Lunala in grand finals.
Yeah.
And I saw that back air Galaxy from like it wasn't off stage, I don't think. It was the right side of the stage. It Galaxied at like 60. I was like, Jesus, that's strong.
Dude, Bear has always been a good move. I was laughing when Twitter was like saying Bear is a bad move for a while. AZ at this point was not paying attention to Twitter at all for like 6 months or so. He had stuff happening in his
That
life. He was
was a
busy.
smart move.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was a smart move.
nothing lost by doing that. But he went to our monthly coming back after that, and we were talking about everyone was saying Bear is a bad move. This is before they buffed it. And that is the only time I've ever heard AZ raise his voice. He was
my
like, they think,
goodness.
what?
Excellent.
Like, I don't know how you think Bear is a bad move. It's just a different move. That's it.
Well, it's not that it's a bad move. It's that he doesn't have a traditional back air. So if there's someone is like behind Sylvan on the ground, he can't do a fast fall back air, and every other character can. Sylvanos just has to leave. He has to escape because he's in disadvantage, even if someone whiffs a parry or whiffs a move under him, because he can't hit him with back air, down air, and air, or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. But
So
like,
it's really bad up close, but really good from far away.
yeah, exactly. It's
That
even
just sounds like
better
Sylvanos in general.
Mm-hmm. I think it really shines more through when you're both recovering and when you're edge guarding because of how long you can both stall with back air and how often you can catch people trying to ride the walls on their recovery. Because it forces tech situations, and if they don't tech, they're more than likely dead because they're just holding a bad angle and they're just gonna fly off. It's like, oof. Especially like when you're trying to go through a platform, just because it'll pin through it and hit you, and that's 16% that you don't want. You're like, ooh.
The thing I've always
16.
said about Sylvanos is that people pick up Sylvanos, then they say he's bad. But it's like people pick up the character and they want the character to change for their playstyle for whatever reason instead of adapting to the character they're trying to play. Like the character doesn't change for you. So
People are a little spoiled by how many options there are in Rivals and the ability to just play almost any character however you want. So with characters like Sylvanos, where you do kind of have to conform to a specific way, they're like, but I wanna do the me thing, not the Sylvanos thing.
people are spoiled with the amount of options their character has or remains.
I think it's fine to like go against the conventions of your character, but it also in the same convention, like I feel limits a good bit of what you can do with the character as a result. That's why I always feel like one particular style won't always work. A lot of the time, you have to just be able to adapt your character and your playstyle to a variety of situations. Like if someone's just gonna wall you out and they're not gonna let you get in, you kind of have to play more aggressively. But if someone's just gonna press buttons at you, you can kind of take the back foot and like kind of just let them run into you.
I don't know if people are gonna try to wall me out and not approach me. I don't need to do anything but fireball.
Fireball if they're far away, and down smash if they're close. That's it.
I
The only
can't
two moves you
lose.
need.
Tech chase, down smash.
Foolproof. It's a foolproof strategy.
If you can't tell, I don't try, I don't try when I'm playing rivals. I do what's funny.
What? No. Silly.
So GR Smash recently uploaded a video that was like, "Why did that work?" moments. I'm like, bro, this is the most Jarek video I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
I was
yeah.
thinking like a video. I'd tell Jarek to make this video for Riles, but he just put all his own clips in it.
Someone told me, Deku told me that, and I said, well, I already made one like this for me. It's just that video.
I was gonna say, isn't that just like the Jarek video?
Which one?
There's a
Like
whole
three.
series. You gotta catch up.
Mm.
I realized that those videos are way better for me to make than actual combo videos. It's just like
Oh,
whatever.
yeah.
It's way more amusing.
Mm.
My best combo video is the one where I barely even do combos. It's just dumb Crag stuff from that time period.
Yeah.
I think my best combo video is showing how broken early access Raster was.
Oh my god. Sounds like a nightmare.
I go back and look
Sure,
at that video
Raster
every once in a while just to remind myself how broken Raster was at that time. Tornado covered half of the stage vertically.
He's better than the current one in every way, and the current one's kind of good. Well, his Nair was easier to use, but it was probably not as good for combos. I don't know.
I think old Nair, yeah, it was definitely better for just like utility, just in case of like how you could just press it and use it in a variety of situations, having it be basically just a traditional sex kick. But I think now new Nair is so good. New Nair is so good.
Yeah,
I mean,
I was
at first
playing.
I was kinda like, yeah, sorry, go on.
I was playing PM with Windows, and he unironically at one point said, "I'm not used to having a Nair that kills." I was like, "I'm sorry, what?"
Not many people are.
What do you mean?
A whole lot of Nairs kill, like Orcanes, I guess. Cool.
It took him like 20 seconds to realize what he said.
Oh my goodness. That's wonderful.
Shovel Knight Nair? I don't think I've seen that kill.
No, but it'll
Rano's?
Rano's Nair will eventually kill.
Yeah.
Sylvanos for dragging people down, maybe?
Drag down air, double jump, drag down air, you both die. Like with Orcanes down
on the pillar.
Suicide Nair. I feel like if someone DI'd Crag Nair really roughly, they'd die from it.
Oh yeah.
I've probably done that at some point.
That's
back
happened.
when in between the two Crag Nairs that there are now, there was this weird tweener Nair where the second hit was actually a spike, like Captain Falcon's up air tipman. That could kill. But that was only in the game for a couple of weeks, so I never really got anyone with it.
I don't remember this. Also, why was that a thing?
Octagon says he's killed exclusively with Nair before, around 250. So
okay.
You can honestly get away with a game of just doing nothing but Crag Nair. Crag Nair is so good.
Maple's Nair kills a lot.
Oh yeah, that's normal.
Yeah, that's true.
Ellie Nair, yeah, that also kills.
Oh yeah, that too. Okay, but
those are basically the same Nairs, except for one has a mech.
Yeah.
I think isn't Ellie's sweet spot more on the edges where Maple's is in the center?
I didn't even know either of them had a sweet spot. I just expected to die when I get out there.
Yeah.
The only time I get hit by him is when I'm in the blast zone, so I'm gonna die either way.
Yeah, Galaxy's quite a bit.
Okay, I should probably be actually asking questions to Akashi. Probably. I gotta ask the question that I give people shit for. What controller do you use?
GameCube.
Gross.
Stock. Vanilla.
Disgusting.
I use no mods.
Oh, I found the GameCube controller that I got in 2001 in the garage.
Really?
is disgusting. I use that thing. It's all worn down. It probably still works too, but you know.
Why would you ever want to use this? This is gross. Get it out of here.
I feel like I still have my purple GameCube controller from when I first got the console, but
Yeah, that one.
the rubber is gone. On it.
On
Yeah,
the
it's
analog stick, yeah.
fucked.
I think it's gone. Yeah.
Mine, that's just my PM controller. It's weird. Like, I cannot play PM with any other controller but a GameCube controller, but I cannot play Rivals with a GameCube controller. It just, even on day one, it just felt weird.
Mm.
And like, real
Yeah,
talk,
just
the GameCube controller actually kind of sucks. Like, the button layout is super weird and it's super uncomfortable. It just hurts my hands.
I get to press jump and hit at the same time, though.
But I can do that with an Xbox controller.
But hit button big.
The big button is pretty important.
Yeah, the big green button that lets me hit you is very big and also an indicator that I should hit you.
It's green means go.
Yes, and you always press the green button. Ergo, you always go. You don't
I miss my
stop.
360 controller. I agree. I thought the 360 controller was like the best controller. I wish they still made them.
I remember when I first got into like people were saying that the 360 controller was like almost objectively the best controller to use. I just didn't like how I'd get like up Bs when I wanted side Bs and down Bs when I wanted up Bs. Blah, 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 blah.
I have that problem with the Xbox One controller, but I don't have the problem with the 360 controller. And that's like worse for Zetter because it's like, hey, you want a fastball fireball off stage, right? Every Zetter does it. It will. Oh, you have 3 specials that can help you recover. You get the one that kills you.
I think for me, it's like I still have issues where like I'll accidentally fast fall side B off the stage and accidentally just kill myself because I'm just trying to turn around side B. But it happens.
I couldn't live without my left bumper. Yeah, I can't taunt without my left bumper. I rebind that so I don't accidentally taunt.
See, mine is on the D-pad, so I don't even have to worry about something like that.
Yeah, but that's how I accidentally taunt.
My taunts are 3. Sometimes I taunt by accident, trying to do like I get a parry. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna kill this guy. I slam down on my right stick to do a smash attack. I hit R3 before directional input comes out, and I just fucking taunt next to them with a parry.
Oh my god.
Well, at least the one thing you
remember-
can say is that at least you don't use a PS3 controller or PS4 controller.
Man,
There was a point.
I think I borrowed one just to see how it felt for Rivals, and it was playable. I'd be able to get used to it, but
It's the
not my
position of the
preference.
analog sticks. Like, I just
Yeah.
can't.
that would break my thumbs, I think, over time.
I think there was a point in time when I was starting in Rivals and I was still in RAS where I was suggested by Autumn to use a PS4 controller, and that backfired immediately, and I never touched the PS4 controller again.
It backfired, like it hurt you. It attacked.
Like I had to fight. I had to fight White Kevin, and I was like, I'm not liking this controller at all while I'm playing the set, and then I lose, and I'm like, I probably shouldn't have entered on a PS4 controller when I'm not used to it. Like day one using a new controller, I probably should have like adjusted to it more. But I was like, I'm just gonna wait until I get my new GameCube controller.
Maybe that one won't be holding a gun at you.
But hopefully.
Will any of you be trying out the PS5 Series X controller for Rivals? Until Sony swaps the analog sticks around, I will think. All right, here's my hot take: the DualShock controller has always sucked because the analog sticks are in a wrong place. I'm just gonna say it. Even back when the PlayStation 2 was the thing and I played it, I hated that controller.
But I don't like it.
I'm not the biggest fan of the DualShock controllers either, myself, to be honest.
Now that I think about it, the PlayStation 2 is probably older than the vast majority of Rivals player.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like what? 01?
When did the PlayStation 2 come out? I actually don't know.
I'm pretty sure it was around 2001, like around the same time as the GameCube. Oh no, it's around the same time as
March
the
4,
Dreamcast.
2000.
Oh
Yeah,
my
that's
God.
definitely
That
older than
is
most Rivals players.
Is that Windows is older than that, right? So it's not older than the whole top 3.
Yeah. Yeah, Windows is older than that.
Okay. Yeah.
That's like what I told Aquatic on commentary. I asked him how old he was, and he replied, and I'm like, bruh, Shrek is older than you.
Oh.
It's probably the height of my commentary career. It's never going up from there.
To get out of your swamp.
Wait, okay, so since you use a GameCube controller, are you a Y jumper or an X jumper?
X jumper.
Ew, you're the
Absolutely.
worst of
Ooh.
everything combined.
Yeah.
I Y jump when I use that controller.
I have to X jump just because it's how my thumb always rests on the controller.
Is it because it's closer to the big button?
Probably. Yeah. It's not above the big button, it's directly to the right of the big button. So I can just lay my thumb directly over both buttons at any given moment. If I want to do one, I just like tilt back slightly and press that. Or I just do both all the time. That's how it works.
See, that's funny to me because like generally what people like to tell you with melee and PM is that if you're trying to get like shore hop aerials out as quickly as you can, you use the right bumper and not A.
I was considering mapping the left bumper to jump just because I never use that button, and because of that I can't do the inputs fast enough for rising cloud hops or for rising clouds. So I was thinking just to like be able to do rising clouds, I should map it to the left bumper, but I just never got used to it. So I just play vanilla.
X jump is the only way. I think I found out why Octagon SDs so much.
Because he wants to press the big button. X is just so close to it.
Yeah, and he also tries it while he's holding a rock. Sorry, I have to say it. I don't understand how Octagon does that. Like the last monthly, he was just standing there holding a rock at 0%, jumps and just falls off the ledge and dies. Didn't try to do anything. He just dies. Just like
I've been there.
like I don't understand what was going through. Like, what's the thought process when that happens? Just me have rock.
I think it's just a really big brain move or trying to
It lags. This is the bullets. The flame drops. The ping was too high.
Or the blue. That wasn't me.
Oh my god.
Who was it? Not me.
Oh, it couldn't have been me.
All right, Akashi.
What's
Time for the serious questions. Would you have played Rivals if it wasn't a furry game?
If it wasn't a furry game, I probably still would have played it. Just because like I watched the trailers when it was originally coming out on early access, and I thought the game looked really cool, and it kind of reminded me of like Melee, and I was like, all right, I'm kind of down with this. I'll play it. Thing was, like when I first got it, I actually didn't play it until until 2018 or so, like late 2018.
Yeah, no, it was
That
a
was
few
when I
years
was like,
after it came out. I remember I was playing you like I think a month or so after you really started playing the game.
Yeah. I
Yeah, that was a
started
ways
off
in.
kind of playing. Yeah, like when I first started playing before we met, I played a little bit of Forest Rank because I thought he was cool, and I found out that he's got that Marth there. That's kind of neat. And the forward air was just weird, and I didn't like it. I was like, all right, no, this doesn't work for me. Hang on a second.
Mm-hmm.
I tried Crag, and I'm like, I don't know what the fuck's going on. He's got a rock.
And to this day.
Yeah, and to this day, I still don't know what the fuck a Crag is. His Nair confuses the ever-loving shit out of me.
Better than the old Nair.
Oh, yeah, no, the washing machine. I saw that Nair. Those
Cycle.
were
Bro, I miss
dark.
old Zetternair so much.
After Crag, I tried Orcane for a little bit, and Orcane stuck with me the most, but same thing with Forsburn. That fair just made zero sense to me.
I think everyone tries Orcane at least once, and everyone has like just this one move he has that they really hate, and they drop him unless they're weird, and then they're Orcane mains.
Ah, that's how that works.
Well, we talked about this last time. All Orcane mains are just clones of Aodago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, produced in the lab.
I don't. I think was I the only one that didn't try Orcane? I never saw any interest in Orcane.
I think I just lost to Turquoise so much. I was like, I'm gonna discover the secrets of Orcane, and I didn't discover it.
It's clearly too good. I'm gonna try it.
Turquoise must be insane to be using that Isla chunk.
Little did we know, Turk is just really good.
For a little bit, I actually did come up. He was my second best character for a couple of months. So, yeah. Beat Brick in a dough where I just memed the whole time unranked and then switched off so he couldn't get the run back or left the lobby. I forget. He did not get a second game against the Ditto that day though.
Bro, I don't understand Turk. Turk is still really good.
Yep.
And he just doesn't play.
I've never gotten the chance to actually play Turk. I saw him, I think, once at Shine 2018. I wanted to ask him for games, but I was like too nervous. It's like I've always heard stories about Turk. I've never gotten the chance to actually play him.
I was laughing at Full the other day was streaming. He was talking about Turk, and he's like, See, the thing with Turk though is that he comes in and he kicks your ass, but it doesn't matter because he doesn't play, so he sucks.
Yeah, we don't talk.
That's the classic. Like, I don't really play this game. I'm just a casual player. No big.
That's the exact mentality Turk would have too. Like when I asked Turk to be on the podcast, he's like, "No, I don't want to be on. Go get Nikki though." It's like, okay, Turk. But no, I actually did the same thing when I first got into Rivals. I wanted to try to pick up Force Run because he's the only character that kind of looks cool. I didn't really care about any of the designs. And then I saw the smoke stuff and I was like, I don't want to learn this shit.
And then it turned out you don't really have to. You just hit them with your moves.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, but I want to use the whole kit. That was my logic. So at that point, I went, well, I main Raster and PM at this point. This is before I swapped to Ganon. So I was like, whatever, I'll just pick up Raster. And then I swapped off Raster like an idiot.
You can use Raster's whole kit because all his moves are broken.
that was another character I tried playing at some point, but like aerial smashes, I'm just like, what? Why can't
Sacrilege
that on the ground?
But Absa has an aerial smash.
Yeah,
actually, all of them.
But it feels like a kick, an aerial. So I'm just like, all right, this works. I don't remember quite what. I don't think I remember quite what it was about Absa that like clicked with me. I think it was that like I played so much Pikachu that just up to was like, oh, sick. I just stuck with that and just never looked back, I guess.
I picked Crag because I liked Pillar. I just was like, I'm just gonna put the Pillar on top of people.
I actually really love that concept of just like, oh hey, I could just make some extra bit of stage wherever I want.
Yeah.
Like I don't need to like be on this stage. I'm just gonna go over here.
Yeah.
Be at ease.
Just leave to off stage and then stand around on the pillar because when early access came out, it doesn't recede.
Oh my god. That's a dark time.
Aramata was hard coded so that if Crag tried to pillar under it, he just died.
Oh my god.
Like if you go in the early access patch and try to pillar under Aramata, he'll just do the perilous jump even if he has a pillar and he's dead.
Oh my god.
So, but you can pillar next to the stage and just ZB for 8 minutes to have the lead. They're not gonna. People didn't know how to come down there back in that day. There was no good way to get around it.
They just kind of prayed.
And I love how we nerfed Pillar the same way again, just because of ZB.
The Zeb always wins.
Zeb always does something to change the meta.
Dud is really angry about that, by the way.
Dud?
It's all ZB's fault.
I keep telling him, bro, it was needed. It was all ZB's fault. I keep telling him that. He's like, it wasn't needed at all, and he's just so defensive about it.
You know what's funny is I've been playing a lot on Ethernet, but I've been playing a bit, and I forgot that got changed. I've played a lot of Crag, and I forgot that's got changed. I've just never done it. I don't ZB.
Does anyone ZB at ZB?
Jeezy says he told Dud it was the best option, and then they nerfed it immediately after.
Because it probably was the best option, to be fair.
Yeah.
Maybe she can tell Dud that side B is Crag's worst option next, and they'll buff it. That's the strat.
I don't know. It didn't work for AZ cards.
No more knockback on strong hits. He just keeps moving forward.
He still occasionally says that it needs a buff, like unironically. AZ is a special person. See, you don't say anything, you just let all the other Crags do your work.
He's the king. He's got people below him to do stuff for.
Did I talk about the Crag quartet on the podcast back in the day?
Maybe, but it's been forever, so I don't remember.
Sure. Back around Genesis 4, the 4 top Crags were Failwell as the movement Crag, Gecko as the special Crag, me as the balance Crag, and AZ Cards as the we don't know why he's winning games, but he's winning the most Crag.
Oh, that ain't just some shit, I tell you.
He didn't understand. He was the only Crag in top 8 of Genesis 4. Dunk got 9th, Whale got 9th. I beat Gecko. I think he got like 25th because of that. I got 17th. And AZ is the best.
Well, at least you don't need to remember your old Genesis placings anymore.
Yeah, well, if you Now I just have a bad average instead of a bad everything.
Yeah, but that's not the most recent thing. Don't say anything. The new
You know
players
what they
will
say?
not know.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, they always say you're as strong as your most recent placing.
Well, fuck. I suck.
Same.
It's like back when I tried, I would do the RCS events and I would get generally around like 17th or so and be, okay. No one nowadays knows that. Everyone nowadays just knows
Yeah,
me as
I
the
don't know.
Jarek.
Mhm.
I think when I first started in those RCS online events, I stumbled between a mix of like 33rd and 13th, and there was like no other placing outside of that. It was either I drowned just outside of Fools, or I made a really nice and deep run. I was like, okay, that's good.
I always just lost to the same people. It was always just losing to Whale, occasionally MSB, and they weren't bad losses. It was like, okay, well, here's this top player where I'm probably going to lose.
I think there was actually one RCS towards the very end. I think it was like December or November or something, where I lost to Windows and Cobra for like 13th. And I was like, huh. Raster wins again. I always wanted getting double eliminated by like the same character. It's really weird.
Dude, it's still really
I
weird
hate
that
when that
Rivals is
happens.
old enough to have like super old legacy things that people just don't like. It's just weird to think about. Like when I was actually starting to commit to Rivals, because I got Rivals on day one, but I didn't really start to commit at getting good at the game until I want to say 6 to 8 months after it came out. Really, I was just
That
around
makes sense.
shitposting on Reddit before then.
Mm.
Like when I was improving at it, I was doing what was it? Was it called RAS at the time? No, it wasn't called. It was
NAS, right?
yeah, it was NAS at the
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
I was getting better at the game as Hoppy was also in NAS. Like at that
Oh,
time, Hoppy and
Mhm.
I were going back and forth. So like that, it's really weird to think how long ago that was. It also probably explains why our playstyles ended up being as stupid as they were.
Did you know that Hoppy was at Genesis 4?
no. Wait.
He got 65th.
Oh.
Yeah, but he's
That's
local in that area, so that doesn't surprise me.
Well, he signed up really late and got put into the pool full of people who signed up really late. So it was just a bunch of good and lazy players. The death pool. So Hoppy just lost to it was Bumblebomb in winners and someone else in losers.
Dude,
Someone else.
it's always the last pool. It's always the latest pool of the day because people don't want to wake up, and that one's always more stacked than the other ones.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I didn't care about Dome Park and didn't try. Like I talked about before, but even if I did make it out of pools, having to beat you, Cork, and Jerain, I had to beat those three. Even if I did, the very first set I would have had in top 16 would have been bullets. I don't want to wake up at 5 in the morning just to lose the bullets. I don't care. So,
DQ me,
like,
coach.
I
Fate
value
worse
my
than
sleep,
death.
man. Instead, Jerain got to wake up at 5 in the morning to lose the bullets. That was a game 5 set where Jerain took bullets to FD on game 5, and I still give him shit about it.
Something about Jerain and Spaghetti Game 5 sets against Edolis. Have you ever seen his set with Whale and Heat Wave?
Oh my! That's what I was thinking of immediately.
That sounds
Yeah.
Cole actually looked through that. What's the word? He actually analyzed that set later, and I was like, "Why are you
I
doing
remember
this?"
he analyzed Heat Wave 1. I watched his set with me and AZ, and it was like half analysis and half just full stream zoning out and talking about random stuff.
This one, when he analyzed that set, it was pretty much all just like, "What the fuck is happening? Why would he do this? Why did he do that?"
It'd be like a cool interaction would happen. He'd just be like talking about whatever, and then like something like kind of mildly interesting, and we're like, oh, let's rewind and check that out because he's just paying attention to the set again.
Oh my god.
And then the other half of the time, just talking to his girlfriend.
Let's go. Now he talks to dogs. So he's running out of dog treats. It's gonna be over. The dogs are gonna have an uprising if Full Stream doesn't replenish his treats soon.
All right, hold on. What heat wave was that?
The
that
first
set?
one.
The very first one. Maybe I have that in here. Let me see.
Yeah.
We can get
Also
some
known as the only heat
old-
wave where Whale did better than 25th.
That was actually one of the first like big rivals tournaments I had like seen ever. I think it was that and one other. I'm trying to remember what it was. Because I remember like later on in my like after the first year or so, I looked up like things like Garden of the Gods and stuff. But
Heatwave was the last like old guard tournament with like Ice having really good results all throughout top 8, full stream wins, and everything. After that was Genesis and Cake 1.
oh yeah, no, that's probably like Probably the definitive. Well, that's one of the best rival sets I think I've seen. Like Full Stream versus Cake at Genesis 5.
Yep.
Yeah.
Darn, I only have Heatwave 2 and on.
I think I told the story last week, but basically, I was hanging out with, I think just like someone who had kids. I was at their house after like the Super Bowl for like that, for some kind of Super Bowl thing, and I was showing their kids like Rivals videos because I'm a pro gamer, kids. Wow, get some easy brownie points with the Munchkins. So I showed them my set with Mugi like for a couple minutes of it. And they were kind of into it, and then I showed them Cake and Full Stream, and they're like, "Whoa, these two are way better than the last two players."
Oh,
Like, you're right, but
it's like you're not wrong, but like that's just oof right in the heart.
yeah.
What actually, now that I think about it, what are the most spaghetti sets? Like the Drain and Whale one, I think is just number one, like without question.
Me and Mugi actually is super spaghetti.
That whole set was really dumb, and you honestly shouldn't have won that set.
No, not at all.
But you were both
Watch that
playing
set was
so stupid
crazy.
that set. I didn't know what was
I
going on.
didn't know the matchup. Clarence was still pretty new back then. I
That was like Mugi is like the first good Clarion that really showed up too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
then
it's
he
not like he
disappeared.
came out of nowhere. He beat Forrest in an onliner, and they both live in Florida, so the ping wasn't that high. Then he disappeared.
Yeah,
I was gonna
I
say,
found Mugi like a year ago when he after he had disappeared. He tried to Zetter to me. He lost. And it was really laggy, so I didn't want to play again. So I just like left and I
Yes,
DM'd him. I was like, sorry, I don't want to do this. Like I can deal with playing with bad ping because I play Windows all the time, but this was like stuttery bad. So I did not want to do that.
it's super weird. Sometimes like that kind of ping isn't really like 70-80 ping can be like perfectly fine and you could still feel like you're moving well, but you could also have like 30-40 ping where you're just kind of like you're struggling, you know?
Yeah, unironically, I get my games with people that live in Japan feel better than my games with people on the East Coast.
They're probably better internet connections out there.
I was gonna say me and Lucius always have trouble getting decent games with one another because after like 3 or so we realize like, oh, it's just kind of scuffed. We have to do something here about
Big
this.
stutter.
Yeah, that was like I had to have a conversation with Fox recently because we've been running Pacific Northwest tournaments in the PDX Rivals Discord. So we've been allowing people from Oregon, Washington, BC, and also Idaho. Not really Pacific Northwest, but like, it's basically the same ping to BC, so whatever. And then Fox is like, well, can I join? I'm like, you are on Wi-Fi. I will let you join on one thing. If you're starting to have stuttering internet, the person is allowed to just straight up DQ you without anyone questioning. Because it's like, I do not trust your internet.
Throw back to the first RAS I ever entered.
Woo.
Oh man, I
Did you
made
have
it
to
to.
Okay, let's keep going. No.
Essentially, like I'd made it all the way. I think it was to winners quarters, and I was super excited. And I took game 1, and shoot, I think it was well, she goes by Anna now, but Sparky at the time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
Sparky at the time was like, "Oh, are you on Wi-Fi or are you on Ethernet?" I'm like, "Wait, what's the difference?"
Oh yeah.
And then I was like, "Hey, is there like, do I need to be on Ethernet to compete in these things?" And they're like, "No, but like if you're on Wi-Fi and the connection's really poopy, then like you'll have to DQ." And I'm like, "Oh, that kind of sucks," because I didn't realize that there were like rules in state beforehand. So like for me, I was like, I'm just gonna enter and see how things go. And I'm doing good. I'm having a great time. I'm like, wait, there's rules? Shit, they found me.
There are rules in life?
Yeah, no, I didn't realize that I had it. It was preferred to have an Ethernet because I had just been playing this way for like the better part of a few months. So I was like, all right, I don't think it'll be a problem.
I wrote the original rule book for MSBAB, also known as RAS, and it's been edited here and there, but bits and pieces are still there. Like if you tournament today on the connection issues section, it says connection issues will all need to be played out unless there's video proof of serious huge ping spiking. After the tournament, the TO staff may vet people who had reported connections and potentially bar them in future events. That's still there, and I wrote that for number 1. I'm pretty sure.
Mm. Yeah, at the time it was more so just that like I don't think at that point we had a clear cut method of like knowing if someone was on Wi-Fi or not. It was kind of sort of a trust system. Which I mean, I think after that point I was like, all right, since I was in losers at that point, I was like, all right, let me get some time to like figure out how to finagle my modem and router in like a good enough way to reach my computer to actually like be able to plug in on Ethernet, because I didn't.
Sometimes the other guy's got something going on, like players like Heyodogo, where it's like his internet gets really tired and needs to take a break, so the game just stops. It just stops for a little bit, and then he gets out of whatever. It never stops when he's in the good spot. It only stops when he's in the bad spot or like in neutral, and then he just hits you or gets out.
That happened. I think that happened one. I don't remember which RCS it happened, but I had to find him in winners to get out of pools. And there was a point where I had him mid combo, and then just all of a sudden it kind of just ceased. And I was like, huh? And the next thing I know, I'm like, all right, are we just gonna do this all over again?
I've only played him once. I've only played him once, and that was after we did the RWS with him, like forever ago. And he had never played me before, so he kind of got the Jarek experience, and then we still haven't played. So, so like as we're playing, he's like, "I'm mad. I don't like this."
Yeah, it was like probably like the whole pie. Like, oh, this Jarek guy's pretty cool. Let's play some games. I bet it's gonna be fun. It's like, and then you're actually, I was like, oh no,
no, you can't even say he's one of those Zetters, because who else plays like that shit?
Oh man,
I will still forever say it that I'm just basically the Gecko of Zetter.
I remember the first time I ever ran into Gecko, I'm like, what is this nonsense?
Dude, I miss Gecko so much, man.
So funny.
Gecko was great. The Gecko was the learning experience. When you think you're good at the game and you find him, and you only learn how to play against good players that are playing in the meta, and then you lose to him, and you're like, what is going on?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know, my games with Gecko were still the stupidest, most fun games ever. Like, the first time I played him, he DM'd me afterward and told me, you like down special more than I like pillar.
Goddamn. That's I don't know if that's a compliment or a curse.
It was kind of both. All I tried to do is just down special on top of his pillar, and he was just trying to pillar the whole time. So that was the whole game.
I believe it.
Dude, if you let me do stupid shit and have it even remotely work, I'll just keep doing it because it's fun. I'm not worried about winning at that point. I'm just trying to have fun.
Yeah, I mean that's what I like about this game. It feels fun while still keeping its like competitive sort of muster, which is nice. Like you can still like play to win, but like the game is still engaging enough and interactive enough to be like super fun. Like there's no like excessively long breaks neutral. You're not just like staring each other down for like 25 seconds, and even then, when you do, it's usually pretty funny.
I feel like you say that because you never spend a long time off stage.
I rewatched my set with Sparks at Frostbite and timed that one really long recovery hit at the end, and it was 25 seconds from getting hit off stage to like getting back on and hitting him.
That's just a normal Zeta recovery.
Oh yeah.
I don't even complain about Zeta recovery much because it generally doesn't bother me. Because once you know your mix-ups, it's mostly fine. It's just once you come across those characters where it's not mostly fine, like say a Shovel Knight or a Force Burn, the game stops being very fun. Like, there is no way a Zetter should recover against Shovel Knight if you get sent off stage. Like, you need to focus neutral really hard.
I have a question for Akashi.
What's that?
You've been to a lot of tournaments. Which one's been your favorite? Not like tournament series, but like actual like individual event. What was the best time?
I'd say the best time? Gosh. That's like a toss-up for me between like 2019 Frostbite and Heatwave 3. They're both in the same year.
Good choice.
And Frostbite's always felt like it's treated rivals really well as far as an event.
Medals, the same thing the rings.
Oh yeah. The rings were super nice too. It got a lot more people involved in the whole event as well, which was really nice. On top of that, like Heatwave 3 was just like so much more of a good community experience. I got to meet like so many people and say hi to
Yeah,
like
it was like the staff role of Rivals.
Yeah, exactly. Like I don't think anything like community wise will be like quite as it won't be able to match Heatwave. Because that for me is like probably my favorite like overall tournament experience. Probably Heatwave 3. And then a very close second to Frostbite because it's like it holds a certain special place in my heart for what I did at the tournament, and just it was also like the first tournament series I ever entered for Rivals. And a year later it was also my first top 8, which was really nice.
I feel like your best tournaments are either going to be A, your first tournament, because you're finally able to meet people you've probably gotten to know for quite a while before that, and B, the tournament that just by far has the best atmosphere. Like, they don't even have to have the best sets. If they have like a good crowd, if they have good fun people to be around, you'll remember that way more than you're going to remember the sets.
Oh yeah.
That's like half the reason why I regard Crest so high, is like not only were the sets super amazing, but like the crowd was just going insane the whole time. Everyone's just having a fun time hanging out. And I feel like part of that's probably because when it comes to me as a TO, I prioritize like having a good welcoming community where people feel welcome, and even without rivals, they can go hang out and want to hang out. Like that for me is number one priority above everything else. So I was really trying to push that for Crest while also still having a really good rivals event. I think it worked fairly well. But that's the one I remember more than anything else, is just because of that. Like Dunk Part was great and fun, and I remember that too, but like the atmosphere was way better at Crest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, MSP? Do you have a personal favorite?
I mean, Heatwave 1 was, I remember being really cool. It was my first time in Arizona, so I got to hang out with someone I knew for a long time who lived there, and that was really cool. I did pretty good with the bracket. The after party was really fun. There were people who went there who haven't been to the other ones too, so it was good to see them. Like Arcanine was there.
Back when he was alive.
That's a name I haven't heard in a while.
Yeah. So for something more recent,
Wait, wasn't Heatwave 1 the one where you also got to yell like "Bring Whale back"?
Bring back the whale.
Oh yeah, full stream was bodying me, and I was like, "Can we just have Whale play this instead? I don't want to be up here anymore." Because I beat Whale in losers finals to get to Grand Split full stream.
God, the time when Whale was in losers finals is like feels like forever ago now.
Yeah. He was super good, and then
he was really good, and then he
yeah.
just stopped playing.
I think
other tournaments though.
Yeah,
Like,
like, I think it's on maybe like from 2018 or 2019, like around that time. Is there anything that like particularly stands out?
I would assume Genesis, given all the like after parties and stuff.
True.
Yeah, the Genesis after parties are all pretty sick. Genesis 6 had Dave, which was a wild ride.
Who is Dave?
Oh, some homeless dude who's probably on drugs that followed everyone around after the bracket for an hour and said crazy stuff. Said he was a planet in the planet, and talking about God with the big screen TV.
So Diebrich?
Very close relation, for sure.
I just want to bring up the point that Soroas actually thought that Diebrich was homeless.
Let's go.
Unironically thought it. I told Diebrich that when he was at my house for Crest, and he was like, "What the fuck? The meme has gone too far." He's like actually upset.
I think that the thing is like the people who make the memes are really good at committing to them. Like when SPS made the Zener propaganda meme, it got taken so far that like people were starting to just ask in general, like, "Is this real? Like, is this true?"
So he was saying that all of Crest, but he was also teaming with Sinnoh, and Sinnoh was getting more and more angry as the event went along.
I didn't know that.
Oh my god, that's funny.
I blame that for the reason why Sinnoh did terribly at Crest.
I think sorry.
Smash and Splash. Easy. Smash and the most recent one was really good. Both of them were really good, but that one was like special, pretty good. Better than two.
Didn't you also do well at that one?
I got a top 8. I think I got 7th at both of them actually. So yeah, not bad.
Did you get second place at a recent one? I don't even remember.
Not Smash. That's Frostbite.
Oh
yeah. Mans went off in that bracket.
That was one of the ones I didn't.
The bracket was kind to me.
The bracket was kind of, but you still beat a lot of like good players.
Yeah, I beat Sparks and Zaro. I remember I played a bunch of friendlies with Penguin and Zaro, and none with Cake because I was on Cake's side of the bracket and the opposite side of Penguin and Zaro. I didn't play Cake at all. I played Penguin twice, and whoops.
Whatever, as long as you don't have to play Cake, it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't
I also
understand.
played a bunch of games with Cake at Genesis, and then we played in bracket. So I really know how to pick them, I guess.
I don't understand Cake in general because like Cake at like when he's trying to win is a lot of smoke camping, and then everyone's like, "Dude, Cake's so sick." Like,
Yeah.
I mean, when he combos, sure, but he's smoke camping all the rest of the time.
Yeah, Cake's neutral is
I was gonna say, I think some people see a lot of the movement and think of it as like really aggressive, like in your face kind of action, but it's just really clever, like defensive play.
Blue.
It's like basically,
dude, Blue just wave dashes in place. It's like I'm still laughing at that one interaction when someone's like, "Dude, he just camps just outside of your range." It's like, so he's spacing.
it's like Captain Falcon dash ins camping, dude.
Yeah, he was just going back and forth in the slipstream. And he's like, do it. You know you want to come in. I dare you. And you do, and you're like, fuck, I got hit by down tilt. Guess I'm gonna die.
I see it. If I get hit by anything Forceman does, I just die. That's another matchup where I just hate getting edge guarded by Forceman. Just sit there at the ledge with back air, down air, and I have to somehow get over this.
For me,
it's just easier said than done.
Yeah. It's like I could recover high, but if I get hit by back air,
back air is fine. I can't really. Well, the problem with Zed is you can't really recover high because I have to down special to get my jump back.
True.
So I have to get through that down air, back air at the ledge. And usually it's just your best option is to tech and do something, but usually you can also cover that. So a better option is just play Claren. There you go.
Yeah, everyone play Claren. Every match is a Claren ditto. It's a good time.
Oh, God, I'm quitting.
Good tournaments.
What do you think the worst ditto in the game is?
To play or just like
just the least fun, stupidest, most boring, like whatever you want to classify it as.
I think the most explosive one's probably Absa, but like as far as entertainment goes, I'd probably say maybe Rano. I don't know. Maybe.
Oh yeah, Rano ditto is awful. So
yeah, I know you.
It's kind of fun, but
you had a bit of time playing that when Tri-State, so you know more than I
know. The Tri-State Rano ditto. That matchup is 40-40. 20% chance no one wins.
If you're playing Rondo, does anyone actually win?
Karu, usually.
Yeah, Karu wins.
Yeah. If you're playing the Rondo ditto, then Karu wins. That's just how it works.
Gee, Rondo's not stream.
That seems like the right answer. I was going to say Claren dittos because they're pretty gross. But
I actually have a good time with those, but I haven't played a super huge amount of them on the list.
I dislike Claren dittos so much that I go Zetter against Claren instead. To be fair, I don't think that matchup is actually that bad. Like, it seems so bad at first, but if you're dash dancing and fireballing a lot, Claren has a really hard time dealing with that. So, it's like Zetter, I feel like Zetter actually wins the neutral and just loses everything else, but like, you win games with neutral, so it's fine. I don't know, best ditto. I want to say either Zetter or Crag, honestly. Crag just has so much stupid shit in the ditto. It's really funny.
Yeah, the ditto's really fun to watch. One of my favorite sets that I got to see live at Genesis was Gecko versus Transco.
Poor Gecko, dude.
I felt so bad for Gecko, but like it was two completely different styles of Crag, and it was just so much fun to watch them go at it like that.
It made me so sad for Gecko, honestly.
Yeah. I was also sitting like right next to Slime Mate, so I was getting to hear all of his like talking.
That is a good time.
That sounds worse.
No, it was so fun. It was so fun just listening to him like cheer on Transco and just I think one of the lines he said was like, "You're gonna show him who's got the bigger dick."
I'm like, sounds like Slime.
Real European hours.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, his buddy on stream, he's gotta support him. Like, I respect it.
Forceburn Ditto. Every Forceburn I've talked to, and keep in mind I don't make Forceburn, so I had no real opinion here. Every Forceburn I've talked to hates the Forceburn Ditto.
Yeah.
Huh.
It's because they just can't recover in the Ditto. It's like once they're off stage, it's just GG. I'm just like,
Most
alright.
they usually just complain about the weird smoke, like being able to take other people's smoke and stuff like that.
It's like when abscess can mess with each other's clouds and stuff like that, I guess. Makes
Yeah.
sense. Just don't use smoke. Just press buttons.
You know, actually, that's a good question because I don't think I've ever seen you play any character other than Absa. What is your best secondary?
Isn't one.
I
So
mean,
with a
if I
different
wanna go-
controller.
yeah, I just put down the controller and I just say GG. I mean, if I wanted to say the tri-state answer, I could say Crag because like that was a thing for a while. I remember next.
You mean
week,
Rado?
Yeah, I could play Rano. I actually wanted to pick up Rano as a secondary when he first came out. And I saw how disgustingly dumb the Nair was on release, and I was like, "Oh my god!"
You mean all of his moves?
Yeah, I was gonna say, what do you mean
All
on
of his-
release?
I'm just saying, like when I was playing my friends on Treetop, and I was like Nair, and it just covers all 3 tech options, and it just lingers there. I'm like, the fuck? This character's busted. It's so dumb.
Mhm. I thought Ron would be a plucky mid tier. Instead, he's an obnoxious one.
He's like, aha, today I will decide to do 70% damage on purpose.
Not on accident, even.
Not even on it. Yeah, no, he'll get a down tilt. And he'll be like, oh shit, I could probably combo off this. Then he'll get a back air into a dash attack, which sets up for even more stuff. And if you're still close to the ground and you tech, then tongue. And then the combo just continues.
So basically, Rano is a flowchart character and not a rivals character.
He can feel kind of. He seems like he's kind of flowcharty in some.
He definitely is
cases.
very flowcharty. That's the thing I hate about him the most. It's so annoying to play him.
Yeah, I mean, when I play people like Lucius and Marks, I feel like I can kind of get an idea of like how the combo is gonna go, so I try and like block it as best as I can. Like when I fight Prime, it's probably Prime or Backpack are probably like the 2 that immediately come to mind that I think are super diverse in how they go about their combo extensions and all that. Like how they decide to hit you. They try and mix you up a lot more. Like both out of bubble and just out of like a traditional combo. Because I feel like there's certain expectations when you get hit by a certain move, like you get dash attack, like okay, here comes the back air, and it just doesn't come, and you just like, well, okay, I'm gonna press a button now, and then they hit you, and like, shit.
That's another one of those matchups. I just go Claren for Rano. I am not going to play Zetter against Rano. Also, shout out to
man.
Dose saying that matchup is even. No, stop. Never. I refuse
Rano
to ever
Zetter?
say anything. Yeah, I hate that matchup.
I remember there was a point in time I think where Lucius was saying that it was even just because of how early Zetter can kill Rano.
Dose is still saying that.
I mean, I've known Dose for a while. I'm inclined to believe him. He doesn't seem like a man who would lie to me. That's all I'm saying.
You don't have to lie to have a wrong opinion.
That's true.
Traps.
You got me there.
Rano is one of those matchups where like my Claren is nowhere near as good as my Zetter. Just gotta put less time into it. But the moment I swap to Claren, I instantly do better against that specific character. Shovel Knight's another one like that. Shout out to me fighting Orgasm at Crest. Game 1, I get 3 stocks 24% as Zetter. I swap to Claren, win the next game, and it ends up being a game 5 last hit. Like, why didn't I just choose Claren to start?
Sometimes you just gotta go with you just gotta go with your gut.
My gut would tell me that I don't really like any of the characters in this game, which is a problem.
Yeah.
There.
Games suck.
Yeah, it's like, well, the problem is I really like the game. It's just I don't like any of the characters. Is the thing, which is really weird because I have like 2 characters in Slap that I really like, and a few in PM I really like. It's just Rivals, none of them work with me. Whenever like Rivals 2 happens, because it's gonna happen at some point, I just hope there's some new character that kind of fills my role.
What if the new character is just Dan?
Hello.
Would you play him?
I quit.
Oh my gosh.
I actually unironically want like some sort of a Ganondorf archetype. Because we don't really have that.
Not quite. The heavies are all like, there's not just like a pure heavy who's slow and bad. We need a bad character in this. But he hits
Yeah,
good.
well, the thing with Ganon is not like, I mean, he's a heavy, yeah, but he's not like an extreme heavy. It's kind of like a pseudo heavy. Kind of just in between, which is what I'm used to. That's what I want.
Yeah.
Like, I honestly just play Zetter like he's PM Ganondorf.
Oh no! Now that's the strat.
Yeah.
It's fun.
That's some shit. Gosh. I feel like if the 3D models were what we expect them to be, when that comes out, we'll probably see like more characters. Maybe not a lot more, but I imagine we'll probably have like maybe some characters from the RPG or something. We'll make it in as like official characters from the game, or at least like
the
look
one
like
character I can say would probably be a character that would exist in Rivals 2 is the what's his name? Like Mr. Kai, the crocodile character, because he's always kind of been around.
Yeah.
And then like that rabbit character, they would probably not just make like a different skin in the next game. They would actually make it a character.
Mm-hmm.
The second robot.
Oh, we're not ready for that yet. Some of like the designs that they were showing off in the grand final trailer looked like they'd be fun characters that could have like a very unique and different style that would still feel very much like Rivals. Like that dude with the giant hammer looks like he'd be a really interesting character.
Fish, just add Fish Bungeon in Rivals. There you go.
Easy
How has no
crossover.
one made Fish for Workshop yet? That actually blows my mind.
Huh. Yeah.
I'm trying to remember. They just made Hollow Knight, I think, as a workshop character. So I'm surprised that we don't have more like crossover characters.
If Fish, you think would be like the most obvious, like that would have been the first one. And like Babel was working on one for like when Workshop first existed, and then there's been no updates for like 6 months, so that's not happening.
Mm.
I don't know. Very, very weird.
Yeah.
All right, I got a few more questions we should get through. By the way, reminder to chat: if you ask questions, we will look at them. I am looking over at chat every once in a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, how many hours do you have in Rivals?
This year I just cracked 1,000. Not a lot of time. Not a lot of time for some people, I should say. Like, cause I've seen like on Twitter that people say like, "Oh man, just put 3,000 hours into this game." Yeah, put like 1,500 hours into this game. Great game, love it. I'm sitting here in 2019 with like 760 hours. I'm like, yes, exactly.
Yeah, hey, you're catching up to me with 1,000. All you need is like 800 more hours.
I'm getting back into it. I've been streaming it more, and that's been good motivation to keep me both practicing the game and just to enjoy playing it again. I've bumped into this guy named Gushko last stream. That dude is crazy good. I'm like, what in the fuck? Apparently he won RAS 71 or something, and his Ori is crazy aggressive. It feels like it reminds me a lot of like R Fox and Jessier. Like if they like kind of mix themselves together.
Hold more.
Yeah. Hold more forward, but also do those really good parry punishes. Like the ones that kind of like DI mix you and then just kind of kill you. And you're like, oh, shit. I don't even think I could have DI'd that.
Speaking of Ori, so Full has been picking Ori back up again.
Yep. Scary.
Back.
I was gonna say, how afraid are you?
Very.
Help.
I think that's like one of the 3 characters I have like probably the most discomfort with in terms of just like a matchup. Like it's like Crag just confuses me on just like how do I fight this thing level. And I've gotten better at it, but just sometimes like the style of the Crag just blows my mind. There's Forsburn because I just get hit a bunch and I'm suddenly at like 80. And then Ori because I'm suddenly just not able to touch the video game anymore.
So is Ori one of those characters where it's just like you lose and you genuinely have no idea where to start? Like what am I doing wrong? What do I do?
Yeah. Because like you don't think you're doing anything wrong inherently in neutral. And then all of a sudden you get hit with a dash attack and you're like you're getting smacked by an up air and then into a back air, into another back air, into another back air. And I'm like, oh.
I feel like Full is going to suddenly start doing really well now that he's playing Ori and not Zetter, and everyone's going to be reminded.
What?
I was gonna say, do you think we're gonna see the resurgence of like Prime full stream? Like
I
from
don't think he'll ever get back to like Prime Full unless he really starts grinding, but he's going to be closer to it with Ori than he was with Zetter, with no time in the game really.
Yeah, I think Ori is a better general choice than Zetter, and he didn't have time to play 3 characters and be good at them.
Yeah.
So if he's just sticking to Ori, then that's just going to be better by default. That character's
Yeah.
not good.
Yeah, I've always told people like Zetter's a really good counter character, but I don't think as a solo main, especially if you're not putting much time into the game, I think it's going to be really difficult for you.
That sound
Meanwhile,
with
Ori's
SPS
just
is pretty rough.
Oh god, that I talked about that before, but just watching his options, his choices in neutral was actually really painful because all he was doing is just running into the sword over and over again.
Sword big. Sometimes you think you safe, but you're not.
You're never safe against Claren. It's literally neutral against Claren is just dash dancing and never approaching. It's always letting Claren approach first.
Yeah, guard taught me the hard way that like you cannot approach first against Claren unless you know exactly what they're gonna do.
Yeah, unless you know they're gonna like down tilt and you can jump over it, or they're gonna like F tilt and you can punish it on reaction or something like that. Because like Claren does have quite a few moves that are you can whiff punish them pretty easily. So it's a matchup that seems like complete bullshit at first. Then once you kind of figure it out, it's like okay, this isn't really that bad.
Yeah,
I feel like most people just hate Claren because it feels bad. It feels bad when you're losing to Claren.
It certainly feels oppressive in that sense. Yeah, especially when you get double down tilt and you're off stage and you're sent at a low angle. You're just like, help, help! I got no resources. Help!
I don't want to hear an Absa ever complain about that.
Unless for some reason they just decide to DP me, they just go really high with the up B. Usually, like just recovering high is just a better option there, at least in my experience.
What if Claren also dash dances? Well, you see, you throw Fireball.
Fireball if they're far, down smash if they're close.
There you go.
It only gets super rough for Absa when they start using the force field more. It just means like,
yes.
The force field's probably like the hardest thing to deal with in the matchup, but it only comes out like so often. So it's like
it's also super punishable though.
It is, but generally speaking, like you're probably gonna wind up triggering it maybe by like cloud or like F tilting or something. Like trying.
All I'm trying to do most of the times, I'm making my projectile go just out of range of what down special would do, and that like doubles because they can't jump at that point. Like jumping is out of the question because they'll just jump into Fireball. And at that specific height, it's incredibly hard to like jump and down special with how much startup lag it has. So it's like I want them to try to do that and either just get hit or just miss the down special. Basically, as it turns out, playing good neutral is really frustrating for players that have to learn characters.
That's how it goes.
Yeah. And getting stuck in Timber Stun for 5 years is not fun. So
yay, stun.
Yay, hit stun.
Especially the double down tilt.
Oh yeah.
You get to think about what you've done when you get down tilted.
Yeah, you get hit by that, you're sent to a low angle and you're just stuck there because you know exactly where you're gonna go. You know exactly what's happening. It's like, okay, you just remember this the next time you try and do that move. You're like, all right, you got me.
MSP, how many people have linked that full SPS set to you?
Only one has really talked about it, I think.
Yeah, I feel like that set is the perfect set for players that don't really understand what's going on to say, see, look, this matchup's terrible.
Yeah. It's so good. That are so bad.
Yeah. I don't like Dino spewing propaganda in the chat. I don't like this.
On propaganda. Dino's 0 shit.
Oh, quick end the podcast.
She's a low tier. Okay.
Oh, Dinos also has a podcast though.
Weren't Pro tagging him doing some shit? Or did I hear that wrong?
You should invite on me and you and someone else, and then him and Pro can leave the call, and we can just have an episode of the Rivals Weekly Show.
Just take over. Did we ever have Pro tag on one of these?
Yeah, his microphone was really bad.
I mean, yeah, it's a Hawaiian microphone.
Clearly.
Mhm.
Just talking through pineapples.
Oh my god.
Did not adequately provide to the volcano that evening, so he was cursed with static.
Why do I not remember this?
Oh, it happened. We had to like him like we had to keep telling him to move further away from his mic or something because it was just like every couple of minutes.
This doesn't surprise me. It sounds like Protec.
Oh no.
I think he still has that mic too, because sometimes I still hear him and he's just ooh.
No, he joins calls on my Discord every once in a while, and his mic is not any better.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still amused at Protag. He didn't go to Crest, and he didn't even have the excuse of it being expensive. Like, I put him in the trailer. He told me he was going. And keep in mind, Hawaiian Airlines, their main hub is in Portland, so flights to Hawaii to Portland is super cheap all the time. So he didn't have his normal excuse. I think he just kind of didn't end up going.
Mm.
And now he's like really wants to go to Crest too, and now who the fuck knows when that's going to happen? So
Yep.
Yeah.
it's the unfortunate life we live in.
We're kind of stuck on the internet for a little bit.
As if that's not where we
Yes.
normally are.
More so now than before, but yeah.
Yes, a deep discussion on whether or not it's reasonable to have kids. It would be kind of strange if some of the people in this call right now had kids.
Mm.
Probably not be very strange about me, considering I'm 29, but you know, I don't want kids
Mhm.
anyway, so.
Same.
Who likes kids? I have to talk to Hobby, that's enough.
It's kind of the old man call right now, huh? Usually I'm not the child in the voice call because we have like on some 17-year-old dude who pushes buttons good.
No, me kick and play neutral, I guess.
Gotta
I
hit the big
guess.
button.
Yeah, exactly. I chill and wait just a little bit, and then I do big, and then the problem solves itself.
So I guess I can bring that question up. What have you been doing during this whole like pandemic? It's like everyone's kind of been stuck at home. Like I don't know what job you had, or like if you were going to school or any of that.
I've been eating Pringles.
Yeah, but did that change?
No.
Did you have to change the type of Pringles you bought? Were all the old ones out?
Nothing has really changed. I'm in a different location because New York City wasn't a safe place, and I had an option available to get out. Took it, but my routine's not too different.
So all is safe in Pringles land.
Yeah.
That's the strand.
Not a whole lot's changed for me because thankfully I can work from home with what I need. I recently just got over being sick myself, so that's why I'm still kind of coughing right now.
I've somehow avoided getting sick in any way, which is nice.
I think I dodged it.
Yeah, well, who really knows for a while, but who knows? In my house is like we're kind of lucky because my job hasn't been affected. I consider myself really lucky. I don't complain about it at all because it just does not affect my job in any way. I mean, I've gotten slightly lower pay because with the economy kind of crashing down, like sponsors are going away and whatnot. But for the most part, it's not affected me like it's affected other people. My roommate is on paid leave because he worked for a hotel. My other roommate, it hasn't affected his job. So really, the worst thing we have is just one of my roommates is still going to work, and you know maybe he gets it, and then we get it. But no one in this house is really super at risk. So
Yeah. I think that was the case for my house for the most part. I was really the only one that needed to go out for work, so it was only really me that could get it in the first place. So even when I did, I was able to just kind of hang out in my room for a couple weeks, just let work know that I was going to be incapacitated for a little while. Thankfully, they offered me. I think it was however long I was sick. They were saying that they would be able to compensate me as long as I got a note from the testers and from my doctor. But as far as my doctors told me, once you get it and it's out of your system, like you don't have a fever anymore, you're not sick, like you
Oh,
don't
you actually got big Rona. You weren't just like
yeah, no.
feeling under the weather.
No, that's actually why I didn't enter Rocks, the online tournament, because like I realized like I was trying to play Rivals and my cough was just like atrocious.
Mhm.
So I'm like, I'm just not gonna deal with that. I don't want to like be stressed playing tournament sets and also like be coughing my lungs out. So I'm just gonna chill. I got to watch the great internet debacle from the sideline.
Yes, we got to do that again.
Oh boy.
Also,
Man.
I'm not going to be commentating this upcoming one, but what I am going to do is I've got permission from the devs to use some of the replays that they aren't going to use and commentate those with someone. I don't actually have a co-commentator yet. They also have to be able to record the replays because this computer is horrible.
I
But
see.
I'm going to be looking for people to do that soon. I don't really have anyone in mind right now.
Okay. I'm always down to commentate because it's always fun for me. I like to do it, at least.
I mean, if you're down, we can do it either tomorrow night or well, if you're playing in it, right?
I think I will be playing it this time, yeah.
Sure.
But I think
So we can just do it Sunday.
yeah, that sounds like a good plan.
Awesome. Yeah. Figure. Can you record them?
Record like with OBS and stuff, or
Yeah, just like OBS. Because we'll just do a 3, 2, 1 in the replays.
yeah, that sounds good. I could do OBS with that.
Awesome. Yeah. Figure out a way to get them uploaded and then show them to people who we commentated.
Excellent.
Easy.
Oh no.
Imagine losing to Wobbin. How could anyone do that?
Let's go
Woven's
Trib.
Woven's gotten a bit better. Yeah, the Tribs.
I can't remember the last time I played Wobbin, so I don't. My only memory is fireballing him. That's it.
That's your only memory of anybody.
Yeah, exactly.
It's either Fireball or it's Down Smash. It's one of the two. Sometimes.
Well, there's down special.
Oh yeah, that's true.
That's when they're mid range.
On the special occasion, it's Down Special into Down Smash.
To
If
be
they-
fair, I
if they
remember
jump over the fireball.
I remember Fireball even more if they're playing Absa. Because that's just like karma.
of
Like
course.
now you know how the rest of the cast feels when they have to play you.
Uh,
Now we can dictate the pace of the game. How does it feel?
And that pace is fireball.
that pace is sitting on a platform for a couple of seconds because I'm on fire and don't want to die at 72.
You don't text your Jericho. You don't have to tech. It's the roll. I mean, I cover the text too, but it's either if you parry your roll, you're kind of just dead.
Yeah, you kind of have to just jump over it. You have to remember to jump, and then but your brain don't think jump. Your brain think I must.
Your brain think, oh no, scary Zetter crab.
Mm,
What I always tell people, like actual advice, anytime if you have a bad like defensive habit, anytime you want to parry your roll, just jab instead. Jab is always a better answer.
We're Crag down tilt.
frame 4.
Didn't they
Wow.
patch out the Crag jab thing where Crag just kind of kept his hurt box out for like 5 years?
I think they did, but it still kind of happens sometimes.
Because I asked that because that just happened the other night with me just charging a random up smash.
Like it's not out for as long, but it's still out for a bit, so you can still get the stupid interactions off.
Up smash always ends up just sucking it in because Zetter up smash is dumb.
Yep.
God. That happened to me at that happened to me this year's Frostbite. I did the dumbest. I did the classic. I can punish this, and then immediately. died.
Dude, that's all you do though.
It works 99% of the time. It just that one time it just didn't work, and I got absolutely destroyed for it. I was like, oh yeah, I can punish this. He's just charging up smash to the ledge. I can kick him. And then
Oh boy.
You know,
he scoops me, and
Our-
I'm dead at 72.
our friendlies make so much more sense now.
Listen, some things never change. All right,
You'd think you'd learn after a while.
maybe. I'm still learning. I'm not.
But no one's
like,
ever done learning.
Yeah, exactly.
Unless you're me and you don't care anymore.
I think that was a thing for me for a while. I started to get a little more complacent and happy with where I was ranked and everything. So I was like, all right, I can kind of chill. I think that was something that I was looking forward to working this year. It's just,
My strategy for improving has always been to find someone who's slightly better than me and then get really mad that they're better than me for just a completely arbitrary reason. And then that keeps me motivated. Because if I'm slacking, then they're just going to get even better, man. They're my worst enemy for the next couple of days.
that feels like me in Prime right now. He's got a little edge on me right now, and it's like I want to get past that. I want to get better than what he's doing right now because he's transcended. He's gotten to another level, and I want to get to that level. I'm not there yet, and that's what bothers me, and that's what's pushing me to be motivated.
Yeah, at Genesis, and well, all throughout the season, I really wanted to play Zaro because I was like, I can. I based it on like nothing. I was like, I bet I can beat Zaro.
Ah, yeah.
Based it on nothing. And then what happened every time was Zaro and Cake played, and the outcome of that set resulted in specifically the thing that made me dodge Zaro. So whenever I was in losers, Cake lost. Whenever I was in winners, Cake won.
It just
So
never
we never
went my
played
way.
until Frostbite, and then he goes up 2-0 on me, and I'm like, oh, this sucks. I'm glad I never told anyone that I wanted to beat Zaro. But pulled it back.
Zaro is
Yeah.
the perfect person I like point at, and I've been doing this for a long time. I point out when everyone says Orcan is just mid tier. I'm like, or you can play good neutral and not just expect your moves to win every single time. I'm still convinced
See-
Orcanes hate Clarion because their down tilt doesn't win.
I had to beat him because otherwise I wouldn't be able to say Orcane's bad.
Yeah.
Orcane's so good, why can't he beat me?
Oh man. I
Zaro
think
did
the
get
funniest-
scary good really quick though.
Oh yeah, absolutely. He's a
Oh,
monster.
yeah.
Really impressive. I couldn't play. I played him because at Frostbite I didn't think I'd actually play him, so we just did friendlies, and he was destroying my Clarion. And I pulled Clarinet against Yezdef at Genesis, so that's how much I trusted it in the matchup. And there was no shot. It was really bad, so I just cragged him.
Yeah, I think the issue there was that he probably has his practice with guards. That's probably where his
Yeah,
strength lies in
that makes
regard.
sense. I don't know if it's true, but I choose to believe it because he's really good at that matchup, and I don't know why. Why else it would be?
Yeah.
What matchup is he not good in?
Craig.
Okay.
Craig,
well,
I feel like he's good in Absa. I just think he has like some little things that he's still working. He's still trying to get past.
yeah, you always have some things to improve on. He's definitely good against Apsa if he's pushing Penguin the way he is, but
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I don't actually. He's complained about apps after he lost to Payman at Frostbite.
Who's
as
ours?
everyone
So,
does.
I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, Zara actually is really good against Crack, but my shenanigans, he's never played against those before. That's the stuff keeping me relevant.
There's a Crag and then there's MSP, so
Yeah.
there are
I was gonna
certain
say
people
this.
you play that you're not playing that character. You're playing that person.
Mm-hmm.
Once
think
I
that's
put
what-
someone in my Crag vortex, it's just they can't win. The step to beat the vortex is not get in there in the first place.
So just
I
don't play
think
the
that
game.
is-
God, what were you saying? Right, when you said that you need someone like slightly better than you to get annoyed at. Like my first
because
thought
if they're way better than me, then it's like there's no chance.
yeah, it's like a
Waste of
whatever,
time.
they win.
Well, you're not worried.
My thought process with that when you said that was like, this is how I am with everything except rivals. What the fuck happened? Because I legitimately don't have that motivation and haven't for like 2 years. I don't know where it went, but I don't care if I win or lose.
It left in anticipation of quarantine.
Damn,
Ah,
I saw that
yeah.
shit 2 years ahead.
Mm-hmm. You had a feeling about it. Mm-hmm.
You use your one
Good foresight.
clairvoyant moment to foresee the future.
Except for I kind of ruined that own thing since I TO'd the local scene, so it still affected me.
Yeah.
I go
Hate to
hard on
say it.
everything else. Like I hate losing anything else. I try really hard when it comes to community stuff, but with rival singles, I just I don't care.
Mm.
I try with doubles too, but doubles is different. Like you have someone relying on you, so you have to try.
Wish you could tell my teammates that.
Who are you calling out now?
All of them.
All of them? All right.
Never won a doubles tournament.
It's never your fault. It was only
No, there
your
was the one
teammates.
with yes, if it taps 3
Yeah.
was the most recent one.
I only blame myself when it comes to the most recent doubles thing. I lost a fucking tie in who am I forgetting? Claren Main that lives in Washington area. How am I forgetting? I don't know.
So
Ty
it's
and his teammate did really better than expected, but like it's doubles, so whatever. I had one point that was a
Maybe.
1-on-1 against Ty last stock, and he was like at 20%. I was at like 80, so I wasn't in advantage. But it was on Forest Floor, the big stage, and I'm Zetter, so
Ah,
that's winnable. And I feel like if I won that, we would have won that set. I still remember
Mhm.
that.
Mm.
There's how many sets do you have like that? Like, man, if I just made that one little
oh,
thing,
of course.
I think you've ranted
think
about
I-
it, like parrying the icicles against full.
I
You
was about
ra-
to talk about that. That's the one thing. That's my one regret. I would have won that tournament if I parried those icicles. I think he might have just gone Edless in grand finals and beat me, but who knows?
The world may never know.
Yeah, was that
Yeah.
winners finals or?
I was winners finals. Yeah, I got third because I lost that set and the one after it.
Yeah, Windows had the same experience. He went like up against full and then just lost.
Mm.
So
Windows lost to Dunk at that tournament. It was wacky wild.
I miss Dunk, dude. Whatever happened to Dunk? He like went to college and disappeared.
Yeah, he went to Arizona locals, so
Yeah,
was on
well,
their
he's in
PR.
college in AZ right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, he left Oregon to go to AZ, the trader.
Tried to main Zetter, it didn't work. Switched back.
Who would have thought?
Uh-huh.
I feel like everyone that doesn't play Zetter has a much higher feeling of Zetter just because when you get comboed by Zetter, it's like, I can't get out of this. It's impossible. He has every option imaginable. I don't know, I feel like your opinion on Zetter is going to entirely depend on how much you value neutral compared to combo game.
Yeah,
I am
maybe.
very much a neutral person.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of
Sometimes
fun.
I hit the big button.
You mean all the time?
That's how it feels for me in doubles. Thankfully, Starbucks has been able to be steady with me as a partner. He covers some of my more obvious habits.
Yeah, you are a good team.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I don't understand how I do well with Drain. Because we have the same game plan. None of us approach, and we all just kind of like do chip damage the whole time. And that doesn't work for doubles. You need someone to be approaching for doubles.
Mm-hmm.
That's how Windows and I did so well at Don't Park, is that he was just kind of like, he was killing everyone as Craig. I was actually just tanking the stocks and just doing a lot of chip damage with just random fireball and smash attacks and whatnot. So like I feel like that dynamic for neutral for doubles of having one person trying to keep attention, the other person just doing everything basically, for lack of a better description. That's actually a terrible description, but you know what I mean. You know what I meant.
Yeah.
What's the point of doubles when Cake and Penguin are in bracket? Well, what about Blue and Bullets? What if they're in the bracket? It actually is just going to be who's going to win between those two every time.
Clearly.
Oh no, people are getting closer. You're getting closer.
Oh, also as a reminder, because Full loves it when you tell him this, that we could have had Ralph's Orcane on CEO Ring and Full ruined it.
How did Full ruin it? Ralph got two.
I told Full that, and he's like, "What do you mean? I didn't even play the man."
Yeah, they didn't even play.
Oh no.
Full Stream could have done nothing to prevent
I'm just giving him so much shit about it, and he just doesn't understand.
Damn.
He just has no context for it.
He has context. That's the part that annoys him. Because it doesn't make sense.
This is wrong.
This entire statement of yours is false, sir.
It is, but that's why it's funny. Bro, G4 in general is still actually wild to think about it. Like, how many upsets there were.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's still, like, probably number 2 for my favorite Rivals tournament, just to watch. I think that was one of the first ones I actually edited, too. Was that no, that wasn't the first I edited.
That one shitty Evo, right?
Yeah. The one where LBO got really mad at me because he thought I was not giving him highlights, even though they literally didn't happen because the internet kept cutting out.
Hell yeah.
That was fun. What's the context? Okay, so the CEO ring, if you look in the background, there's a portrait of a yellowish raster, and that was the skin that Full used to win G4. But Ralph was like number 1 in the world by far at that time, never lost before. So everyone just expected Ralph to win, and then Full won. And then Ralph never came back.
He did come. He's been to a couple tournaments since, but he hasn't really done anything.
Yeah, but that's not really coming back if you're Ralph. That's just kind of
Sure.
showing up occasionally.
I played him at this G7. And it was like, wow. I guess either I got really good or he really hasn't played this game in 17,000.
Yeah, I want to see Ralph's Orcane again. Like, I was kind of sad when he was playing. What was he playing? Maple at G7, I think, or was it?
I think it was Maple and Orcane. I think he actually played both.
Okay.
Just never saw Orcane on stream.
Yeah. I think he went Maple for that set on stream.
And he lost 2 original characters too. He lost to Matty Ice Raster and Slime H played Maple.
Okay. Actually, one person that I thought was really cool was the Maple from I believe it was Australia.
Which Australia's actually sent 4 players.
You mean OSU?
So,
yeah, I thought it was
OSU. Yeah, OSU was the most recent one.
OSU. God, I can't. Every time I think of that name, I can't help but feel bad for Octagon. He threw that set against OSU. That was the thing that kept him. Yeah, that was the thing that kept him out of top 52 is the fact that he threw that set. That's the part that feels real bad for him. It's like, as we were in the PDX Rivals Discord watching that, and at one point it was like last stock for both of them, and Octagon jabs and then just pulls a rock in front of him, and all of us just yelled in a call like, "Why? Why did you do this?"
Craig.
In my heart, like I was thinking he had some sort of mega brain play that he was gonna unleash that just was gonna mix Osu so hard he just kills himself. Because like you never know what's gonna happen, and I'm just thinking there's gotta be like an ulterior, like another layer to this.
I have no idea what he was even trying to do. Like, how do you jab pull rock? Like, what other option do you have that you're trying to do in that situation?
True.
I don't know. If you know Octagon, you know he really likes rock.
Oh yeah.
No.
He's a very very good B button, Craig.
He honestly, the way I've always described Octagon is he kind of feels like Turtlebox Jr.
Yes. I think I said that to him once before. It reminds me a lot of Turtlebox.
Just rock shards.
Rock shards, good down Bs. A lot of like smart pillars. It's like, oh.
I won't say good down Bs. He has a habit of down being where you really shouldn't. But a lot of people, for some reason, don't parry it still. Whatever.
I think some people expect the first shard to hit them, but then it doesn't. So then they're just like, oh, fuck.
Sounds like Ralph murdered his twin brother and had to cover it up.
That was not what the message said, but I will also believe this theory.
That is a good theory to go.
How many old players are just like gone now?
Oh,
trying to think of like all the original players that aren't even around. Actually, all the players I'm thinking of, you wouldn't even know any of them now, Akashi.
Probably not.
Let's see, who were the best players of each character in like November team? There were only 6 characters. I mean, I guess Absa too. So it was Zetterburn. It was actually Forest. It was Mills. So that's one for one probably. The best Orcane was Turquoise. Mm-hmm. The best Crag was Edge Kid.
Edge Kid.
The best Raster was Full Stream. Okay. But the second best Raster was Spoopy Williams, and the third best Raster was Richter Belmont.
Oh man,
I think I heard of Richter Belmont in the first lore stream you did.
Man, he's been kind of sad.
Even now, the Belmonts.
The best Maples were Deer Force and King Oreo, and the best Force were Ralph.
I know, like Wave 2 was kind of like quite a few players disappeared out of that. Like say Evitz, which we talked about before, who just I don't know, he was going full in and then disappeared. So I don't know.
He lost to Kenneth at Bigger Balk, and I guess that broke him.
Wasn't GTX after that?
Yeah, but then that's the tournament where he overslept. Top 8.
Yeah, which is like, and then he never came back, which is super sad.
Yeah.
I think other than that, the only other Zetter at the time, like aside from LVO, was Gaming, who also just kind of vanished. And then Pika vanished for a while to come back as the best Slap City player, so whatever.
Whole lot going on there.
I did not expect that. For him to randomly show up at SmashCon.
It seems kind of on brand, honestly.
Yeah, if you know Pika, it kind of makes sense. But I didn't know Pika that much until Slap City, so.
All right, we're coming up well past the 2-hour mark, actually. So, if anyone's got final chat questions, let's hear them, and we have to ask our final question.
One of these days I need to go through. I keep saying this. I need to go through all the footage and see what everyone says. Shouldn't be too hard because it's at the end of every single podcast. I should be able to find it.
We missed anything big this time. I think we did pretty good covering everything.
I want to know the final tallies, though, from this question, is what I want to know.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
It'd be really curious. I feel like... Okay, I'll ask the question first. If you could remove one character from the game, who would it be?
Boy. Well, that's a toughie.
Clarin, no question? Hell no.
No.
Once you play the character enough, it's not... Yeah, whatever.
If I had to remove a character... I don't know if I could pick one. I enjoy them all. I enjoy playing against them all, except maybe Forsberg. But I'd probably get rid of. That's a tough question.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe.
Okay, they get replaced by a character you do like a really cool character.
That's cool. But I think if I had to pick one, it'd probably be Ori. Probably.
That's respectable. What if you got the option to just remove the Ori that we have and instead replace it with an Ori from the second game? If we God, that's from Ori and the Will of the Wisp. The first thing I did when I started playing that game was like, why didn't we get this Ori? This would have been so much better.
Oh no, I haven't played the second Ori or seen much of it, so
it's so good.
I'm kind of curious now.
Have you played the first one?
No. I have the first one. I just haven't played it yet.
I feel like almost every Rebels player has given me that answer. Like, I have it. I just haven't played it yet. That's how I was until they announced it.
I don't have it.
It requires having money, so.
Yeah. I have like fucking 4 versions of Skyrim, but like only one version of Ori.
Cool mini Falcon? Falcon doesn't have sign, so I'm sorry.
I'd rather have me than sign, actually. Rather play against. I mean,
I think the combination of one of the fastest characters in Melee with the idea of like having a partner alongside to combo with is just super, super oppressive. Mabel kind of like rides the line of like oppressive, but like you could still do stuff about it. Or you can feel like a step above that for at least for me, which is just like a little too much.
Falcon and Luma is the best description I've ever heard for Ori. It actually is.
Yeah, but you can't do anything about this Luma. This Luma like just stays here forever and just kind of like tacks on damage while you're already getting comboed.
I tried to explain it as like having Snake C4 following behind you, but that doesn't even describe it.
It doesn't fit it quite as well.
All right, now my question.
Oh boy.
You cannot play your main anymore, so Epsa. But if you switch characters, you can pick one and transfer all of your previous hours into them, so you don't need to spend any time learning them or catching up. You know everything already, and from the get-go, you're like top 50 level with that character. Who do you pick?
Who do I pick? If I could have the same skill level with that character, I would probably say.
Yeah, you skip the learning curve completely.
Yeah. Oh boy, getting a free pass on the learning curve is nice. It'd probably be Forsberg.
Cool.
Just because, like, I still think he's really cool and he's still got really fun moves and he's still really fun to play. It's just like there are like 1 or 2 moves on him that just in my head just don't make sense. So it just really stops me from playing him.
Cape.
Cape, forward air.
Yes.
I'm like, why do forward air not do damage? Why it just kick forward? I
It's
remember
the worst kick of all time. Big Button's letting me down.
Yeah, big ones.
That's like really weird for me because it just seems like, well, force sprint is for combos, right? So you should just mash fair as much as possible. Like to me, that makes sense.
There was a time I think where like you could get what was it, like 4 or 5 fairs out in like one good hit. You could just combo fair into itself over and over and over again at like those low percents.
Did that stop being a thing?
I mean, a bit less so. Like it's no longer like just 5 fairs in a row. I think it's like probably only 3 now. At least it feels like that. I feel like fair was nerfed at some point. I might be crazy.
I think so. I don't remember the specifics though.
Nah, me neither.
Shout out back to when they buffed force burn for no reason out of nowhere before Shine, and then never.
Oh,
never...
that one, yeah. Ugh.
Yeah, and then there was another one after that.
Yeah, it happens a lot actually.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Forceman gets the occasional buff.
His A moves get buffed, his B moves get nerfed.
Thank God Combust got nerfed.
Man.
I like how we've been saying it's broken for a long time, but it took that one set where Windows Combust purpled him like just off ledge of what, like 23%, and Dan was on commentary. I was like, oh no.
Normal stuff. Seems fine.
It's like that purpled.
His response is like, I'm gonna get tweeted at, I know it.
Of course.
Oh, that poor man.
It's almost like we've been telling him that for a really long time. Now Trevor just does all the damage buffs and whatnot.
Let's go, Trevor.
Shout out to Trevor. Trevor, I like how Trevor actually just doesn't care about the game.
Great.
He legit doesn't. I'm still laughing. The only time he came down, any one of the developers came down for PDX Rivals was Trevor. And he was coming down in a carpool with PM players from Seattle to join also the PM Monthly happening the same day. Didn't even play Rivals. He left before Rivals started.
I think my favorite time meeting the devs was at EVO this year, 2019, where last year, where they both got the same placing, and since they were still trying to set up the stuff for top 8, they had a little grudge match to see who was technically better placing.
Oh god.
They got through one match, Dan won, and then they just stopped playing. It was supposed to be a best of 5, but after the first game, Dan was like, okay, we're done. We're gonna
That game was worth 3 points. It was just really good.
Yeah, exactly. That's just how it is.
Oh, speaking of, okay, well, I guess you can't really stream, so that's not really an answer. I was going to say, people have been streaming Rivals of Tether. I was going to be like, are you one of those people that are going to end up streaming it, but you can't stream like anything?
Oh, is that me?
Yeah, you.
Yeah, so I can't stream. I might be able to borrow another computer around here and play the game and stream off of that, but it's more likely that I show up on someone else's stream one day than that I'm actually like running the broadcast on this channel. Anything like that.
It actually looks sick, for the record.
Oh yeah, cool game.
Oh yeah, it looks hella fun.
Are you guys ready for the TAPS 5 Cursed Workshop Tetherball side event?
No.
I'm down for it. Akashi's just like,
God hits the tetherball, did you?
I know it's gonna happen. I'm gonna watch that bracket and be like, oh my god, this is so fucking dumb. It's gonna be hilarious to watch, but it's gonna be so dumb at the same fucking time. It's gonna be great.
Dude, Mario pissing would be a god at tetherball.
Oh my god.
That coverage though, you can just hit the ball once and get them in the piss lock and then SD to get your piss back.
I was gonna say, like, you lock them and the ball at the same time.
Yeah.
He might actually need to be banned. He might actually be
knows?
too powerful for tetherball.
I actually found a Mario pissing exploit, and I specifically had to write into the rules that if you use exploits, you're banned because these characters are broken messes and they have them. Since Taps Force delayed, I'll just say what it is.
Mm-hmm.
If you use your up B with Mario pissing and you get parried, you can continue to hover during free fall, which doesn't expend any piss. So you can do it forever. If you get a lead, you just win the game off that. You time them out.
Oh my goodness.
So
That is
if you're
brutal.
playing Mario Pissing and just spam up B with when you have the lead and make them parry it so that you can just blow it away and win the game.
Well,
Oh my goodness.
who would have thought that Mario Pissing isn't a completely balanced, honest character?
Right? I was
I
so
thought it would
surprised.
be super polished.
Yeah, you would think. You'd think.
How do you mess up one move?
It's
Actually, didn't they update it and give him like a few extra moves?
Oh, he's got a ton of moves now, yeah.
Why would you update
There-
that character?
No, it's actually really fun now. He's busted.
He's the people's champ now.
Mhm.
People's champ. I can see it.
Yeah. People love Mario Piston, dude. It's the same way people love Obama.
Oh, you mean the? I thought you were literally talking about Obama for a second, and I was like,
No, they love that the president or the former president loves Rivals of Aether and plays it constantly.
respect. I was gonna say something forever ago, right? So we asked our final question. We probably should start wrapping
Yep.
up. What I wanted to say is, and it's interesting looking at all the different people that have answered that question, because it's happened for such a long time that obviously their answers may be different today. But I feel like the most amount of answers we've gotten was for Edalus for the obvious reasons. But then, like, the second most was Rano, and I want to know how many people would have changed their minds to Rano, because Rano wasn't out when we asked that question for a lot of people.
Maybe not. I don't remember the specifics, but he might not have been.
Or at least people didn't know yet.
We just have to go back and ask everyone who's ever been on it what their answer would be now and tally it up that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be easy.
I mean, because if you're thinking
And
about
then-
the game now, it's like,
And then we have the one. It'll be just Edalus, Rano, a few extra characters, and then there's just one from Aodago who just said no one.
yeah.
He just refused to give an answer to that. He said, "I wouldn't remove anyone. They're all too cool. All this cool work that they put in. Like, that's probably the most doggo response you've ever could get."
Mhm.
mhm,
Both teams played hard.
yeah, everyone's sick.
As a Blazers fan, I appreciate that a lot. God, I miss Sheed. I miss basketball and everything in general right now. I would love to be able to watch some basketball. Okay, maybe I don't. The Blazers were injured. This year kind of sucks, but like whatever. I just want something. This year was
You just
sad
want
for
to-
basketball. So I actually I'm not going to talk too much more about this. I actually feel really bad for Milwaukee fans because they've been mediocre and crap for so long.
Right.
And then this year they're really good and can win everything, and then they just can't.
Mhm.
Like, how would it feel if the Jets were finally in this situation and then it just
Dude, they might be. The draft's looking good.
Yeah. There's potential. I feel like there's always potential with the Jets, though.
They got a really large offensive lineman, so I think what's going to happen is he's just going to eat the defense, and the Jets will win that way.
Okay, I look over in chat and I see Rano is way cooler than Sheik, and then someone replies says, "But does Sheik vor?" Like, oh well, shit, you got me.
Of course.
Damn.
Being cooler than Sheik is not an accomplishment. This is also true. I'm playing a lot of P+, and I've been reminded of how lame Sheik can be. But at the same time, not only am I playing against Sheik, but I'm also playing against Windows, who is not very good at P+, may I mind you. Rivals players are not good at Smash.
Does he use keyboard?
Do what?
Does he use keyboard?
Oh, no, he uses his Smashbox, though, so yes.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, dude, I've talked about that a lot before, but Rivals players are not good at Smash, and Smash players are not good at Rivals.
Yep.
It's like PM players
Yeah.
are like the only exception to this.
Smash players are better at Rivals than Rivals have played Smash, I'd say.
They both feel pretty damn bad. Like,
Yeah.
I,
But if I had
like,
to pick one.
I wouldn't even say that. Like, the best
Ultimate
example.
players are horrible, but I mean, like, melee PM players
Well,
are
even
pretty
even
good.
then, like, my best example of that is Fat Goku is awful at Rivals. Like, he's
Ah.
so bad at Rivals. But my memory with that is I tried to get him into Rivals for a bit, and this is when Shovel Knight first came out, so he wanted to see what Shovel Knight was. So I was kind of teaching him some things, and then he taunts and brings up the menu, and he goes, "What is this? Don't get this character away from me. I don't want to play this." Just refuse to
Menu.
learn. Like, okay, he's very much so an old like melee. Like, I don't like jank. I want to play my Fox, like, you know,
Yes.
that type of a player. So that, of
Mhm.
course, that's not
Might as
going to
well
work with
jank.
rivals.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Which is, you know, it's funny I say that. It's probably my biggest complaint about rivals. Is just I don't like characters being as jank and annoying as they are. So
Wait, no basketball talk. We're gonna be here forever.
Oh
We're
god.
wrapping up.
yeah,
We gotta wrap it up at some point.
I'm not gonna answer anything about the NBA because that's not what this is actually
Invite
about.
a basketball player on next time, and then we can go
Yeah.
off.
And just make a NBA weekly podcast instead.
Yeah, NBA Weekly show. Show highlights of like games. Show highlights of your games.
Oh shit! I gotta pull up some of my
Yeah,
PSU
yeah.
stuff. And to hide all the stuff that anything bad that happened. Fun fact.
Yeah.
Fun fact, that was the original
Yeah.
reason I started cutting my hair is because I used to have really long hair back then. And when you get to a college level, all the shit goes. No one cares. I got tired of people pulling it, so I just cut it. So,
Rest in peace.
yeah, I mean, it eventually led to me shaving my head entirely, which, I don't know, I think I look better this way anyway, so it's fine.
Hmm.
Podcast 2 for sports. The Rivals Sports Podcast.
The Rivals Weekly Sportscast.
Tetherball Rivals Weekly Tetherball Show or something stupid. Okay, we're I know
We gotta get outta
we,
here.
we're doing this forever. So
Yeah, we
Nope.
got it.
I don't know who we'll have next time. I don't know when next time will be. We don't have a schedule for this, as I said before. We're
we
just
just kinda
doing
do it.
this when we want to because we want to avoid burnout. Burnout terrifies me.
Mhm.
That is something to be afraid of. If you feel burnout is coming to you, take a break.
Absolutely.
Big spooky.
Yeah.
So I don't know who we'll have next. There's a lot of players we could pull in. We've been kind of going back and forth. That's a good question for chat. Who you guys think would be the next coolest, or like Akashi, if you have anyone in mind, that'd be interesting to know.
Travel to the Midwest and find someone there because there's a lot of good players I think in that region who could definitely.
We had Sparks and Sego, I think, before, didn't we?
Yeah, right?
I think we had both
Yeah,
of
we
them.
get both.
There's other ones over there, definitely for sure, though.
I assume Sinnoh's from there unless he's from your region. I thought I saw Sinnoh at
I
Oryx.
forget. Yeah, he posted that.
Sinnoh's in the middle of the country, but he's not like when you think Midwest, you usually think, I don't know, Chicago, like that general area,
like
and he's not
the
from
region.
there.
Yeah, that sort of region.
Yeah,
Okay. There's Bookworm. There are a few people.
yeah. I feel like Midwest is definitely one of the
There's Levin. Yeah.
one of the big regions that are really good. I feel like the strongest regions are probably Tri-State, Midwest, AZ, and Pacific Northwest.
Do we count Florida as a region?
Yeah, Florida also counts.
Yeah. I say like you could probably get like Garter Backpack on actually. Now that I think about it,
We probably could actually. No, yeah, that's a good point. I don't know. I feel like there's going to be a lot of regions that are going to pop up when the Switch version comes out.
It feels like it now because the support for local areas has been getting stronger. Like there's two specific like sections of Florida that have their own like rival scenes now. So it's very possible that it'll just keep growing from there.
I've noticed everything about Rivals is just getting more views and more attention now. Like say Adam's videos are a great example. His videos now are getting so many more views than they used to. And that's only going to go up for a while after Definitive comes out.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah.
think that. Yeah.
Anyway, that's enough for this.
Yeah.
We've been going for 2.5 hours now, so I'm going to cut this here.
Yeah.
Thanks all you guys for
Alright.
showing up. Thanks Akashi for joining us
Yeah, no problem. It's been a
off
blast.
of a week's notice of me just yelling at you.
Let's
I
go.
was
Hey.
literally invitation was all caps lock. We were all just yelling. So thanks everyone for
Yeah.
watching. We'll see you in, I don't know, maybe 2 weeks time probably.
Yeah.
So peace. See
Yeah.
you later.
Later, guys.